accident, one thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show, live on Tuesday, August 19th. My friends, the Cubs win. Cubs win. Cubs win. My guy PCA broke out today. That's the entire show. We appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Got to celebrate those Cubs wins when you can. Owen Casey had his first major league home run. Chicago Cubs baseball. We're going to the World Series. That's a lie. We're not. Should probably temper my expectations. The Monty Show, as always, presented by our good friends at The Advocates. TheAdvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. I tell you guys every single day, you get into an accident, you get your heart stepped on by a baseball team, advocates.com. You get attacked by your neighbor's dog, you're riding your bicycle, and as we're coming to Labor Day weekend, I really want you guys to start thinking about being safe on Labor Day weekend. I actually accosted a young boy who was terrified of my girth yesterday. I was driving the Beamer back from the grocery store last night, and this kid on a scooter fell off his scooter right over by, I live by a lake. This kid is trying to do like this trick, and he falls off his scooter, and he's not wearing a helmet. And where's his helmet? Tied to his hip with his two friends wearing helmets. And I actually got out of my car to make sure he was okay. And I was like, maybe take the helmet off your hip and put it on your head. And he didn't appreciate it. And his friends were like, yeah, it was classic. It was classic. The one kid was like, yeah, and I'm going to tell your mom too. Like, it was amazing. But as we get to Labor Day, you guys, in all seriousness, we have got to remind our kids, put a helmet on, right? With all of the kids out on bikes, out on scooters, playing, traffic is not going to slow down for them. If you're on your bicycle, if you're on your motorcycle, I understand we all have wants, desires, needs, freedoms. Please wear a helmet. Please be careful. There's just been so many motorcycle fatalities this summer. I can't remember a summer where so many people got murked on their motorcycles. Please be careful. And if the worst happens, be ready. The advocates are ready to serve you today and every day, 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com, where you never pay out of pocket for the best representation. You don't pay any kind of retainers, consultation fees. In fact, you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. And listen, if you don't have a case, they're going to tell you straight up, hey, your workman's comp is handling it. Hey, the insurance company is handling it. Whatever it is, the advocates are going to take your case. And if they do, they're going to fight and they're going to win, because that's what they do at theadvocates.com. Jake, how the heck are you?
Excellent.
Mike Smith says the Beamer vibrates the girth, which activates the length.
Length and girth.
I've heard that. And may the peach shirt reign supreme today. I don't know.
Okay.
Is it peach?
It's either peach or salmon.
It's not. Shut up.
What, you don't approve of the salmon?
We've been on the show for 5 minutes and you're already saying, oh, salmon, bro. Hey, bro, it's salmon. I know, Sam. I'm a salmon expert.
Well,
I mean, I got eggs over here like you don't even know. I'm ovulating salmon eggs.
Hey, two holes.
Salmon. It's not salmon. Come on.
I mean, I'm just trying to help, you know.
I feel like it's pink. It's not peach. I feel like it's pink. It's certain people in the room say it's salmon, which I think is ridiculous. Connor Stallion says it's salmon.
Right.
The salmon's an insult. I mean, let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
Good to see everybody. TJ Beck, may it be a girthy show indeed, Mike.
Length and girth.
That's right. Dana Marie, hello. Length and girth, you have my attention.
Length
I need
and
to
girth.
know which one of you jackwagons is actually Dana Marie. You know, Mr. Preston, hello. Mr. Preston, good to see you. Sergeant Morhew, Phil Venzer. At least no Monty meltdown yet. Cubs hang on to win. We didn't hang on to win. Owen Casey went deep. That's all you need to know. Mike Chase, hey, how the heck are you, Mike? Hope the family's well. Joseph Harper, the great mystery was solved today as BYU and Notre Dame both named their starting quarterbacks. See, when your life sucks as bad as mine does, the Cubs win, and somebody with no notable experience or talent is the starting quarterback at Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, our mother.
Anybody want to explain to me how Notre Dame does not have a starting quarterback?
It's what they do. No quarterback, 10 guys on the line.
Any experience. You're Notre Dame. Why would you want a quarterback? Like, I am so frustrated. By, and I feel like we talk about this every day. I am so annoyed that these programs, like Notre Dame, you're Notre flipping Dame, and you don't have one of the best quarterbacks in football. Athlon Sports today put out a ranking of the best quarterbacks in college football. No Notre Dame quarterback on that list. Nope. No Notre Dame quarterback on that list. No Michigan quarterback on that list. Kevin Jennings made that list. Haynes King at Georgia Tech made that list. Some jackwagon named Luke Altmaier at Illinois made that list. You know, Taylor Green at Arkansas, he's on the list. Dylan Raiola, 26th. Dylan Raiola, the 26th best quarterback in college football.
That's a little rough.
The 26th best, that's it? That's all. Like Baron Morton, 30th on their list. Like Noah Fafita, 36, still no Notre Dame quarterback. Still none. Jackson Arnold at Auburn, still no Notre Dame quarterback. None. Malik Murphy at Oregon State, still no Notre Dame. Oh, there he is. C.J. Carr, 47th. 47th. 47. Kenny Minchie should be the starting quarterback at Notre Dame. Then again, I can count to 10, so what do I know, right?
Right.
I mean, it is wild to me that Notre Dame does not have one of the best quarterbacks in college football. And maybe I'm overreacting to it, and I get it, but
that Marcus Freeman is some quarterback savant. You know, I mean, this is somebody who obviously is a defense first guy, and I think you see that in his program.
I don't know, man. I look across this country and I think if you're going to win a national championship, and I put this to you guys, you think about your team and you think about your quarterback. Do you have one of the best quarterbacks in college football? And if you think about this, the odds-on favorite, we're going to talk about ESPN's new FPI here in a second. But if you think about the best quarterbacks in college football, I simply ask you, does your team have one of the best quarterbacks in college football? Because I know one team that does. Archibald Manning III, Jr. I don't know if his name's Archibald. 5-star talent, famous bloodlines. Manning is primed to live up to the hype in his first season as a starter in Austin. And it just goes on and on and on to fillet Arch Manning.
Right.
Which they should. I think he, as I've said on this show for months, I said it last year, I think he should be the starting quarterback. And I think he's the best quarterback in college football. But you look up and down these rankings, and I will continue to say it is the weakest link at Epstein U. Right? You look at Epstein U, what don't they have? They don't have a great quarterback. 6th best quarterback in college football, according to Athlon, is Drew Aller. And we can keep going down and down this list. You either have a quarterback or you don't. Georgia, what is the weakest link at Georgia?
Clearly.
Yeah, that Carson Beck is at Miami. That's the weakest link. And just real quick, their top 10, Arch at number 1. Klubnik at Clemson, I think justifiably at number 2. Garrett Nussmeier. Now, I know I don't know anything about football. I am warning you that LSU is going to break balls this year. Garrett Nussmeier, number 3. My other guy, how many days on this show have I told you about Lenoris Sellers over the last year and a half? I'm telling you, Lenoris Sellers is coming, right? DJ Lagway at Florida, totally disagree. He's a top 5 quarterback. How is Sam Levitt not the 5th best quarterback? How is Sam Levitt behind Drew Aller and DJ Lagway?
No idea.
Right?
Because people don't watch him. That's why.
And if you're a Michigan fan, the number 10 is really going to infuriate you. Julian Sayin at Ohio State. And I think he has got every tool you want to be a superstar. And you keep going down this list. No Michigan quarterback in the top 20, which is a huge issue because, of course, everybody has told us that, hey, Michigan's back, bud, and you're not gonna see a blink out of us. We've got that money in our couch cushions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out that you have also got the 40th best quarterback in college football, Bryce Underwood. So, yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. And I actually think Bryce Underwood's going to be, by the end of the year, I think he'll be one of the 20 best quarterbacks in college football.
Hope so. He better be.
Better be. Mike Smith, God chooses the quarterback for Notre Dame. You got beef with the QB, you know where to direct it.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Jesus and I have had long conversations about this, and he disagrees with me. D-Rock Irish, hello. Don't have to have the best QB to make it to the Natty. Just look back at Riley Leonard, what the Irish did last year. Not win the national championship. You have this all-world defense. You have, I think, one of the leading guys for Heisman Trophy, one of the best players in college football at running back. And I really hope, I hope CJ Carr is what everybody says he is. I don't believe that he is. And when you have multiple other quarterbacks formerly of your program starting around college football, that's going to be the measuring stick. That's going to be the measuring stick because I think it's going to be very difficult. Jacob Guy, I'm a Bama fan, and I feel good about Ty Simpson. Jesus, he has had an unbelievable summer.
You should feel good about him.
An unbelievable
you should
summer.
Feel good about him.
And I think one of the things that's so interesting about Ty is that he very clearly he's just a guy that I don't think you're going to have to worry about him. We've talked about Ty Simpson for a long time. I think I'd have to look. I think he's 35th on this list. But, I mean, this is a guy from the class of 2022. He's been in the program for several years now. He was there behind Bryce Young, then Jalen Milroe. I think it's now or never for Ty, and I think it's right now because the ravings that we've heard, and I think Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer are the perfect duo to develop him. I mean, he's had really good coaching his entire college career. I just don't know. I don't know what more you could want. I mean, he's not a run-first quarterback, but he's certainly a guy that can move the pocket. And I think a lot of people are saying he doesn't run like Jalen Milroe. How many quarterbacks do?
And do you really want him to run like Jalen Milroe? I mean, wasn't that his biggest problem is that he wasn't a good enough passer and a really good runner? I mean, that's like in the SEC, I would think that you would want a pass first guy. I mean, the best quarterbacks coming out of the SEC have been pass first.
Yeah, and Jacob, I don't think we have to tell you this. I mean, you've got at Bama, you've got one of the best offensive lines, and you've got unbelievable wide receiver talent. I mean, you have everything you need with Grubb and DeBoer and the offensive line, the wide receivers. You've got everything you need to be really, really effective throwing the football. And I think Bama's going to have a year that is going to piss a lot of people off because it seems like everybody hates Bama. And I'm warning you right now. And we can continue to sit here and talk about how, the SEC's overrated. And I'm just going to tell you, I don't think there is any chance that the SEC is overrated. I think, as sure as I am sitting here, the defenses in that league are going to dominate. Now, I agree with Ty, Gunnar Stockton, hell, Archibald. You look at some of the quarterback questions in that league. Sure, there's quarterback questions in the SEC, but would it surprise anybody? Honest to God, if we're just dollars to donuts, if LSU wins a national championship, is that shocking? I don't think it's shocking. I truly do. And I've been telling you this.
I think for a casual fan, it would be shocking. I think anyone who follows college football, I think because I think LSU is a dark horse for again a casual fan, somebody who doesn't follow the offseason, doesn't know what this program's doing, doesn't know what they got working at quarterback, obviously doesn't know what they have working on the line. Like, if you're not following the offseason news and everything, like LSU maybe feels like in the last week when we were talking about the AP preseason poll, people were all fired up with our take about how LSU should have been a top 5 team. But now all of a sudden you're starting to see people talk about the fact that, it turns out LSU should have been a top 5 team, and people are really looking forward to them coming out of the SEC. So like I said, I think for a casual fan, people are like, what the hell are you talking about with LSU? But then, when they get off to a good start this season and they're right in the middle of it, people aren't going to act surprised. So
no, I agree. David Persons. David, good to see you. Oh, I should have known. 15th. He is 15th. And it's funny, David, even while I was fully dressed, I thought about you when I saw Josh Huber at 15th. Probably too much. Athlon Sports writes, TCU offense leaned heavily on Hoover's right arm last season, and not much will change in 25. They expect more than his 471 attempts last year, in fact. Hoover sliced opposing defenses for 3,949 yards and 27 scores. Threw 11 interceptions, which, he's got to get that to single digits. But I don't think there's any doubt.
That's a lot of attempts, dude. That's a lot of attempts, bro.
In a college football season.
That's a lot of attempts.
There are starters in the NFL who don't throw for that kind of volume. So the awkward guy, I'm a Texas fan, and I feel good about Arch Manning. All right, well, let's get into Arch Manning a little bit, because I think one of the things that I find so interesting is that Archie Manning lit the world on fire with this, hey, he's going to the NFL draft or he's not going to the NFL draft conversation. Because he straight up said Arch is not leaving Texas after this season. And today, Arch Manning leaving Texas was Caleb Williams' silver nail polish yesterday. Jacob's like, oh, bro, Arch is out after 1 year, bro. Because Arch essentially showed up and said, I don't know what the old man's drinking. He's losing it. Because I'm day to day. Arch Manning said I'm day to day. Jake, do you believe him?
Yeah, I mean, I believe him. I think that, Arch is somebody who, I mean, if you've listened to Arch at all this offseason, I mean, everyone was all shocked when he was like, hey, I don't know where they're getting these, all this praise and these preseason predictions. I've played in 2 games, and that was as a backup, and I haven't really done anything yet. And I largely agree with that. Now, obviously, the hype is there for a reason, and obviously, everyone thinks he's going to live up to that hype. But yeah, I mean, if I'm Arch Manning, I'm not sitting here commenting at all on not going or going. I'm definitely going to play the day-to-day card and just say that I'm here to experience it, and I'm in the moment, and the season's about to start.
I don't know that you can do that. I mean, that's neat and everything, and it's cool that Arch Manning is trying to be loyal to Texas, as you would expect, right? I mean, why would he not? But if you're Arch Manning, I think you have to look at the NFL draft after the season, almost no matter what happens. But I still believe, and I wonder what you guys think, I think he can be Vince Young, but better. If Arch Manning wins national championship this year, I don't see how he goes to the NFL. Because if you win a national championship, you have to come back. Mm-hmm. I think you have to. Arch Manning, and I understand that you only get one shot at NFL money. Totally understand that. Arch Manning's that rare guy that if he were to win a national championship, and if he does that, if Texas wins the national championship, doesn't Arch Manning have to be the heartbeat of that team? Yeah. Doesn't he have to be almost the reason? Because you already know that they have a phenomenal defense. Pete Kwiatkowski's got that team, that defense. I mean, just eating raw meat and running through brick walls, right? Like that defense is going to be good. Arch Manning is going to be the reason they win and lose most games. And if Arch Manning leads that team to a national championship, you're talking about forever legacy. And you have no shot at a forever legacy at a joint like Texas. If you were to go to the NFL, any chance you have at a forever legacy dies. And I just don't think you can risk that.
Yeah, and I just don't understand like why like it's not very often players have the luxury of having the name, right? You don't like having the Manning name pushing you is gives you every reason to build that brand and build the legacy at Texas. And I think that this is somebody who has wanted to go to Texas since he was a kid, dude. Like everyone knows the story. So, and the other thing I would say is the money you're making in NIL is nothing to forget about. I mean, this guy is
certainly
raking
not.
in money. And,
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say is why would you leave a really good situation in college where you're competing for national championships to go to a really crappy situation in the NFL where people think, people are like, oh, well, we drafted you. You're going to turn this whole franchise around. I mean, if Arch Manning was a Viking right now, what would people be saying? Right? Like the conversation would obviously be different. And I just think that these guys have more incentive than ever to build a brand and that word legacy, to build and create a legacy than they ever have before.
But listen, I think Arch Manning, if they win a national championship, this is where the conversation starts.
Mm-hmm.
If they win a national championship, hell, if they go to the national championship, there's a chance. I mean, I don't even know that it would be questioned. Wouldn't he be the number 1 overall pick in the draft?
Certainly. Yeah. You win a national championship and then you go to the draft with the number 1 pick in the draft.
I think if you're Arch and you play for a national championship, you're the number 1 pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm going to tell you, if Texas wins a national championship, Arch has to stay, even if he's the number 1 pick. And it does not get better than that. Money-wise, career-wise, it does not get better than that. And it might be one of the few times where you can control your destiny as a college quarterback. And you can say to yourself, okay, who's the worst team in the NFL? And I mean, go ahead and take your pick, and it almost doesn't matter. I mean, if you project who is what and who might be the worst in the, I don't think there's any doubt right now that, I don't know, I would think the Giants will still suck out loud, but they're not an option. Jackson Dart, who we're going to talk about. Tennessee just drafted a quarterback. The Browns drafted 37 quarterbacks this year. You're probably looking at playing for a team like the Jags or the Raiders. And it's probably a team like the Raiders because it doesn't seem like five-head Trevor Lawrence is going anywhere in Jacksonville, right? The Patriots probably aren't doing anything at quarterback. Like, I look at the best and worst teams in this league. Now, Tyler Shook looks like he has no idea what even a football is to be used for. But if you look at it and you say to yourself, oh, dude, I don't want to play for the Saints. But if your last name's Manning and you're named after Archie Manning, do you not write and they're the worst team in the NFL and you have a chance to be the number 1 pick? And it's the Saints. How do you go back to Texas? You go back to Texas if you won a national championship to be an all-timer.
Yeah.
That's how.
And I think that
right?
that would be the main reason. And I think that, Arch Manning is a guy that's capable of doing amazing things at the college level. And I'm really excited to see what he brings, especially in week 1 against Ohio State. And I think that
Ohio State,
it's his first opportunity. Truly, it's his first opportunity to really define the Arch Manning era. Because I feel like those 2 opportunities against Georgia were just not, he just wasn't ready for that. He wasn't there yet.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. And I think there's no doubt. Here are the ESPN Power Rankings. These are the top 20 teams. Hello, it's English, Monty. Here are the top 20 teams. And again, I know that everybody thinks, the world revolves around the Big Ten. I don't know how you argue with this. Texas, Georgia, and Bama are 1, 2, and 3 in the ESPN College Football Power Rankings. And Ohio State, Epstein U, the damn Catholics, Oregon, Tennessee, A&M, Ole Miss, the Cox, LSU, Florida, SC, scumbag losers in Ann Arbor. And I can't believe, I don't know, I haven't seen the comment section that Wasikowski's probably here celebrating a guy who isn't going to play a snap this year. So who cares? Like, I love this thing that college football fans do. You're fanboying over an 18-year-old high school kid. In an era where 18-year-old high school kids rarely impact the game. Rarely impact the game. And I'll just continue to ask Michigan fans. And I've said this about Bryce Underwood, and everybody is absolutely jock riding this kid and
Sucking a ding dong.
At least the quarterback position has the opportunity to come in and dominate. How many 18-year-old running backs show up at a major power conference university and dominate? Not many at all. And when you're getting excited, and I totally understand it, and I understand that Michigan fans are looking for anything to hang on to right now, and I get it. But Savion Hyder is not a kid that I would be strapping my wagon to, because I think when you look at young players, you need that young player to be a quarterback. And if you are the University of Michigan right now, is it a little surprising that Bryce Underwood, who I know is going to be the next greatest quarterback anybody has ever seen.
4 Heismans in a row.
He is the greatest thing that anybody has ever seen ever in the history of college football. He's the 39th best quarterback in college football, according to Athlon Sports. And PFF has him rated, I believe, lower than that, in the high 40s. And you look at what they're saying about him, it is, they need him to not turn the football over. They need him to run the football because they have a very good defense. And again, I think he'll be a top 20 quarterback at the end of the season. But he needs to, and if you're a Michigan fan, he absolutely has got to come out of the gate and dominate. That's the only thing you can do. Or you're going to wind up in a situation like you have at Epstein U, where the coach who can't beat any good teams is stuck with a quarterback he can't have throw the football down the field. And if that's the case, it's very limiting to your offense. It is very limiting to your offense. And
of course,
you start looking at these power rankings and you understand the child pedophilia ring at 5. All of a sudden, when it comes to real metrics that are measured to determine what kind of season you're going to have, all of a sudden, yeah, the pedophiles in Happy Ending Valley aren't the best team in the country anymore.
Bro, you're just so casual with it.
With what?
It's incredible, dude.
With what?
The child pedo ring in
I'm just
it's
speaking
the delivery,
facts,
dude.
That's who Penn State is. Like, I'm not here to mince words. I think it is deplorable that Penn State still plays football. I think they're disgusting people. Their fans who support them are disgusting. Their administration, they're disgusting. Their history should be wiped off the face of the earth. We should never, ever hear about Penn State football again, because I think they're a bunch of, I don't know why that played, because I didn't touch anything. It is just, it's disgusting to me.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brutal. Wasikowski, Notre Dame lose a quarterback to Syracuse. Not really lose a quarterback. The problem is Notre Dame wants CJ Carr to be the next great Notre Dame quarterback. He got beat out in camp. I follow it very closely. I don't know how you explain that CJ Carr is the starting quarterback at Notre Dame. He has no business. He has no business being there. And I think it is wild. And I'll just continue to say, you look at the rankings and you look at guys like CJ Carr, you cannot have CJ Carr as a starting quarterback at Notre Dame. He's 40. The Athlon even has him at 47.
CJ Carr, I mean, Jimmy Clausen, all over again.
He wasn't even, was he even a top quarterback prospect? And this is the thing that I think a lot of people forget. CJ Carr is not like a hyped prospect. He wasn't one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And yet he winds up at Notre Dame. I want to say that like I think he's a 2024 prospect. I want to say he was like in the 40s. And you're going to Notre Dame, and that's the guy that Notre Dame is chasing? It's wild to me. And I still maintain that Kenny Minchie should have been the starting quarterback. Everybody who watched that on a daily basis is surprised he's not the starting quarterback. Like, I would love to understand it. And if somebody wants to explain it to me, please do. But anybody taking shots at Notre Dame today, feel free, man. I'm with you. And there is not in as far as physical stature, there is not a larger Notre Dame fan in the world than me.
Physical stature.
Stay hard.
Like there's not, I love Notre Dame. Notre Dame football. I am a passionate Notre Dame football fan, but I'm telling you right now, this is a mistake. And I hope I am wrong. And I hope I'm wrong. We're trying to replace Riley Leonard at quarterback at Notre Dame, and we went with CJ Carr. He was the 45th prospect according to 247 Sports in 2024. Awesome.
Vexes me.
Terribly vexed. Mike Smith, there's no larger length and girth Notre Dame fan than Monty. That's what I'm saying. Right. Joey B, hello. Monty's shirt getting looser and looser every show we match. Well done, Monty. Good luck on your journey. You guys, I'm on the GLP-1. I'm on the Zepbound needle. And the first week I lost 12 pounds. This will be my third shot tonight. I do it every Tuesday night.
Yeah.
This will be my third shot. First week I lost 12 pounds. Second week I gained 2 pounds. This morning when I weighed myself, I was back down 2 pounds. So I've lost 12 pounds. But the funny thing is I've lost a lot of tonnage. I don't know how to explain it.
Tonnage.
Yeah, like this. And you guys, I'm not lying. I'm not even lying to you. Thursday night, I bought this shirt. And I bought it because I had a trip this past weekend. And I feel like it fit me just right when I bought it. And it's a size smaller than I had been wearing. And I'm not trying to tell you I've lost all this weight. No, I haven't. But I am getting smaller and I don't know how it works. I do not know how it works. I'm eating twice a day. I'm eating oatmeal in the morning. And like today I had Impossible Nuggets and a bag of frozen corn. That was lunch. And I probably will not eat dinner because I just don't get hungry anymore.
Right.
And maybe that's it. I don't know, but it's just bizarre.
Well, I mean, it sounds like body composition less than like losing weight, like just changing your body. Yeah.
It is tonnage, Joey.
The biggest load that we've seen.
I put on some shorts last night to hit some golf balls and they were falling off of me. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I do not understand it. Monty pulling the Jake with a salmon pink shirt.
See, I told you it's salmon, dude.
No, it is not salmon. No, it is not. It is purple. This is purple. I should have known better. Curtis Jason is Chaboy, Monty. I don't know who that is. Too many people taking Ozempic that should not be taking it, as they do not have sugar, nor are they really overweight. It is, for me, you guys, it's not. This is going to sound moronic. It's not about losing a number for me. I'm obsessed with the scale. I weigh myself like 37 times a day. Like usually 3-4 times a week. It's not a number for me. I'm tired of looking fat. Like I'm over the, because everybody naturally assumes we're sitting at, bro, we're way off I'll get back to college football, I promise you. We're sitting at dinner the other night, and I'm like, dude, I'm on this Ozempic or on this Zepbound. I take Zepbound, not Ozempic. I'm on this Zepbound, and I was joking. I'm like, all I do is drink water and pee, and I am thirsty all the time. And this guy my brother-in-law, essentially, he's like, have you been tested for diabetes? And he was dead serious.
What?
And I'm like, what the flip, man?
What?
Like, yes.
Waves in opposition.
The thing that bothers me is people naturally assume that I am unhealthy. And you naturally assume what you want to naturally assume. I'm tired of that.
Dude, that's wild for someone to just do your face ask that question.
I am tired of that. And I'll be honest with you, I had unbelievable food in front of me all weekend long. Like I told you guys yesterday, we went to Fleming's in Newport Beach, did not have an appetizer, did not have dessert, and I'm just not hungry. What this Zepbound has done is turned off the food craving, the food noise. I don't think about food anymore, man. Like I am hungry never.
Mm-hmm.
I would usually have breakfast. I'd be thinking about my oatmeal at like 7:00. I have to remind myself at like 10 o'clock, hey, you really need to eat breakfast. You got to eat because I need the calories. Because the way my day works, I get up at about 5 to 5 every day. I wake up at 5 minutes to 5 o'clock Mountain Time. And it's over. Like it's 7 o'clock at night before I even, you get this, Jake.
It's wild how fast, dude. It is I can tell it is wild how fast the day goes by. Like if you're not paying attention, it'll legitimately be like you'll get up and then it'll be like 11 before you're even like bro, like what?
11?
Like it's 6 hours and it's just gone,
bro. But if you're not careful, it's fucking Thursday.
I know,
not 11 o'clock. It's Thursday.
Yeah, I know.
That's the untrained eye,
right? Like
yes,
it is crazy.
Yes,
it is crazy when you grind the way that we grind.
God forbid you want to go to dinner at night once a week. Like, I mean, that's the crazy part is like, it's just this whole thing where it's like, if you like, so Sunday into Monday, right, is always a tough night for me to go to sleep because I'm just awake and I'm rested. But then Monday into Tuesday is fine because I'm tired from the day and like I go to sleep easy. Then Tuesday into Wednesday is usually pretty fine. And then Wednesday into Thursday, I'm a little more tired. And then Thursday into Friday, I'm more tired. And the days just like go by super quick. And I don't mean to be like, get off my porch guy, but I swear, like the time just flies.
Yeah, it is. Ooh. Maury Alvarez, constant thirst and urination is a symptom of diabetes. I totally get it. Maury, you're right.
No, but dude, hold on. You're not wrong, Maury, but hold on. You're sitting at a dinner table with someone, wherever
who I've known for years. My God, Bob Collins.
Yeah, and
my sister-in-law's husband.
I'm not saying it's a mean thing to ask. And it is family, which needs to be said. So family added component. But I don't know, bro. Like I don't know that I would ever like ask that. I probably would have asked if I wanted to like bait you down a line of questioning involving do you have diabetes? I would have said, hey, well, have you checked your blood work? Like, is that all good? Like, where are you at with that? And then you could have said, yeah, I don't have diabetes. Like I just to be like, hey, bro, you got diabetes?
And if you follow me on Instagram, I posted all my blood work.
Yeah, anyway, you did.
Anyway, I don't want to belabor this point about it. It's just crazy to me that guys like Mike Smith, got my sugar A1C way down and looking good. However, since my injury a few years ago, I do not get the exercise I need, so Ozempic works for me at this time. We're going on a walk after we're done working tonight. Like, me and Mrs. Monty are going to go on a walk tonight.
Mhm.
Like, I think, Mike, this is a really good point. You have to be active. And when you're injured like Mike is, or you've dealt with an injury, it's brutal. It's brutal. At this baby shower, I was talking to a gal who loves to golf. She's got to have a discectomy in her back. She's got to have some discs fused. So she's having trouble hiking, standing, sitting, breathing, sleeping, eating, let alone play golf. Like, it's brutal when you lose it. Well, you know what? I lose myself at 4:55 most days. My wife is such a sadist. Like, I love the lady, but the bedroom lights come on at 4:55 every morning.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
stupid.
just, yeah, no, I need it. Or, dude, I'll stay in bed until like 5:30. If the
Which
lights
is still
did not,
just outrageous because 5:30 is well before 9 out of 10 people even think about waking
but do you
up.
guys understand the actual difference? Like, tomorrow morning, I'm actually going to get up at 4:30 because I lift tomorrow morning. Do you guys understand the difference between 4:55 and 5:30 in the morning? Not that it's 35 minutes. That might as well be 8 hours, dude. Like, the difference, if you can sleep until 5:30 instead of 4:55, it is remarkably different.
Mhm.
Remarkably different. And she does it. If those lights didn't come on, dude, I'd sleep till 5:30 every day.
Yeah.
She programs, we have like Alexa. And she programs the Alexa lights at home to come on at that time. Like, I never have to turn my lights on or off at the house. You guys know how that is. So she has it turn on at 4:55, and it's just like, oh.
I got to be honest, I'm the guy that needs the alarm to just smack me in the face to get out of bed. Like, I need the like, hey, get your ass up, like, loud enough to where it's like, all right, I'm up. I can get up. Like, I can't do, like, I don't do snooze. I just, once the alarm goes, I'm like, just get out of bed and just like go to the bathroom and turn the light on and just survive for 10 minutes, dude.
Yes, exactly right. You have to. And the problem is the sun is not up. If the sun were up, I would just open my blinds and let the sun bask in my face, but it's not up. David Persons, and get your aortic valve replaced. Why do I want my aortic valve replaced?
No, why are we doing open heart surgery here?
D-Rock, what's your exercise regimen? I lift 3 days a week, strength train 3 days a week, golf 2 days a week. I'm just you know what the funny thing is? I have a lot more energy now. Like, I'm trying to get, for me, if I can get 7,000 steps a day, it's fantastic. And I was at 4,000, and I'm like pushing 55 to 6,000 steps a day now.
Yeah.
But I just don't have time to do it, honestly. So, like, going on a walk tonight, I do a lot of golf related stuff. So I think strength training is incredibly important. I mean, if you are not, I read a study today, 1/10 of 1% of the Earth's population, 1/10 of 1% of the Earth's population can bench 225.
Do you even lift?
Is that, do you guys, I don't know that that's true. I don't believe it. I can bench a 1 rep max. I think I could do 225. If you're asking me to knock out 10, I'm probably doing 200. I could probably do easily 185, 190, because I can easily bench press 75-pound dumbbells. So if you give me a barbell, I can do like a 45 and a 25 pretty easily. But I think it's 1/10 of 1%. Crazy. Mike.
Bro, we took it for granted how strong we were that one time, bro.
You guys may not remember this, but Jake and I, when we were lifting like 5 days a week, we were doing 100-pound dumbbells. I was over 225. And that, I remember we were benching, and I said to myself, and then I said out loud to Jake, why are we trying to bench more than 225? There's just never a reason to do that. If I can get back to 225, I'll be thrilled, because I think
When?
that is exactly where you should be. You don't need to bench more than 225. Alabama, love all them coaches that came out of the Dakotas, if anyone can do it. Well, dude, I'm telling you, Alabama's going to be very good. And again, I'll put this FPI back up for you guys. ESPN's FPI Power Rankings out today. I think this is terrifying. I'm a Notre Dame fan, and this is terrifying to me because I just don't, unless CJ Carr turns into Arch incarnate, I don't know how we're going to score points this year. We're going to be so heavily dependent on Love to run the ball. And I think we're probably going to throw some of those great house fly balls that we saw in the playoffs. But I'm a little nervous about how Notre Dame's going to operate. But if you're like in this list, you guys, some of the schools that stand out to me, Oklahoma at 20 with on the far right side, you see where it says projected win-loss? Venables is in trouble in Norman. Their high projection is 6 wins. SMU, 9 wins. So let me get this right. Lashley is projected to win a maximum of 9 games, and Venables is projected to win a maximum of 6? How come they haven't fired his ass already? And you look at K-State. Look at K-State. 9 wins. 9 wins. What do you notice about K-State? Yeah, they're the only Big 12 team on this list. The only Big 12 team on this list. And I think it is really shocking that K-State, I don't know, Jake, is this disrespectful to the Big 12? That probably feels heavy. But
I think the ACC, Clemson and Miami, you understand it. SMU, I don't understand it. It's a one-off thing. Like you had one good year. I don't think anyone believes you probably should have been there. Like down year for the ACC. Good timing. All right, cool. But yeah, I mean, I would say there's a little bit of shade towards the Big 12 here, only because, the way I look at it is you're more than happy to put South Carolina in this list, even though South Carolina has never proved a damn thing. And I get it. Lenore Sellers, you got a ton of talent, should be a great year. Totally get it, dude. I'm even with the hype train, and I want to see South Carolina do great things this year. But if we're talking purely about preseason rankings and ESPN's FPI here, I look at this and I say, bro, how do we not have any semblance of, Texas Tech, Iowa State, any of the teams that were right on that bubble last year?
But why would they be?
Well, because we're more than happy to put Florida on there. Florida's got no business being given credit for the college football playoff. We're more than happy to put South Carolina on there. Why, how could you? At least with A&M, I can say, yeah, if you'd beat Notre Dame last year, you're probably in the college football playoff, but you didn't, So there's that. I just sit here and I say, how is
LSU 12th?
How is LSU 12th? How is Oklahoma on here? How is SMU on here? And how is South Carolina as high as they are? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. And obviously, you guys know the FPI is very different. It's not simply, hey, they won this game and lost that game. It is a formulaic. It is a formulaic thing where it's a predictive system. It measures the team's strength and projected performance going forward. It is an ESPN. ESPN will even tell you that it's not to rank teams 1 through, how many teams are there? 120 something. It's to correctly predict games and season outcomes. They're not trying to tell you, hey, Texas is going to win every game, because they're not telling you that, right? If you look at the win projections, Texas is projected to win the most games. Not every game, the most games at 10.4. And then you have Epstein U at 10.3 and Ohio State at 10. But again, this is why I go back to Arch Manning talking about this one and done thing at Texas and why I think it matters so much. Because I think the way he's handling this controversy, you think about it, this is Archie Manning saying, hey, he's not leaving Texas. Well, Arch doesn't necessarily agree with that.
next year. Is he right?
Yeah, I don't know where he got that from. He texted me and apologized about that, but I'm really just taking it day by day right now.
I mean, it's the perfect answer. I don't know where he got that from. I'm taking it day by day, right? Like I think it is really important that kid's head is level, and everything that we've heard from Arch at SEC Media Day and all of the noise from that, Jake, I have no reason to believe he's not ready to lead that club.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I think his first full-time season for Texas, there's going to be ups and downs, mostly ups, a few downs. I think that, the only thing that would really derail this would just be injury. Other than that, I think if he stays healthy, they're going to be in a really good spot. And the thing is, I look at Arch Manning, I look at guys like Julian Sayin, you look at some of these other quarterbacks, just around the teams that are in the college football playoff regularly. And, it's really interesting, their situations. Like Julian Sayin is a freshman, and Arch Manning has been sitting behind Quinn Ewers for what seems like forever at this point. And this is still his first real full-time season on the field. So I just think the situations that these guys find themselves in might, like, because everyone's saying, oh, well, they're both like first-time quarterbacks, but that's not really the case when you look behind the scenes. Like, I think there's a lot of value to it's the JJ McCarthy point from yesterday with the Vikings. Like, I would have expected JJ McCarthy to look a lot better than he does because he's had time in that program to learn the playbook and get on with it. And that's the same thing I would say about Arch Manning. And I would even take it a step further with Arch to say he does have limited, but he does have game reps in the system on a big stage. So I don't think the stage will be the problem per se. And I do think Arch Manning will outperform Quinn Ewers, in the sense of being athletic, being able to get out of some situations that Quinn was unable to with his legs. So I think Arch is going to be just fine. But I think that what people want to do to this kid is they want to say, oh, well, he's going to go undefeated at Texas, win a national championship, and then he's going to go to the league. Like, that's what I think people want to do to this kid. And all I'm saying is, hey, let's let him prove it, mainly because he said he wants to prove it. He wants to earn the attention. And I think that we just get too far ahead of it with him.
I think you look at this from Athlon Sports and you start to understand. I think the expectation is 4,000 yards. I think the expectation is 25 touchdowns. And I think the expectation is that he'll throw 10 or less interceptions. And I look at Sayin, and I think the expectations are totally different. I think they both have a very similar route. I think you're right. The comparison is accurate, but Arch Manning has significantly more exposure. And his DNA gives him, in my opinion, a pretty big advantage over Julian Sayin. And
look at how much more developed Arch is. Look at how much more developed he is just in this picture. Like, you can clearly see the dude's been a college football player for a couple of seasons now. That doesn't mean that those were all game reps and everything, but he's built his body. He knows the playbook. Like, he has the things you need to come out of the gate right away and win big games, which is why I say, if I said to one of you guys, hey, like, your first day on your new job, you're having to come in and close some massive deal, and you've watched your predecessor close those deals for like 2 full years, how would you feel like your odds are to close that deal? Probably pretty good, because you've watched it, you've talked through it, you feel really prepared. That's what Arch Manning is. So there's no reason why Texas shouldn't beat Ohio State and be off and running early in the season.
Well, I mean, we're going to find out pretty quick, aren't we? Because they run into each other week 1. But I think it's going to be awfully difficult. Maybe we should judge them after week 2, because I think those are 2 of the best defenses in the country that you're going to see go head to head there. And I think Arch is just more experienced. Isn't he a year older as well? I think he's 21 years old. And Julian's 20. I just think they're both fantastic quarterbacks. And
I think, and obviously we will have full X's and O's, go ham on that game next week. But
I think that's
that
the
game,
X and O head-to-head X and O thing. Like, that a little bit worries me about Sark going head-to-head with Ryan Day, because I think, and
Well,
this
my
is
thing
why I
was,
say, yes,
yeah, I
go
mean,
ahead, cut me off again. Go for it.
I mean, my thing was that Arch Manning is more experienced, and when you talk about two great defenses, Texas's defense should be able to confuse Julian Sand and should be able to create turnovers from him, even if he's just trying to take a shot that maybe he misread or whatever it might be. So that's why I would lean Texas, but I think that again, we'll just have to see how it plays out. But I would fully expect and give the edge to Arch Manning in that matchup.
Yeah, I think it'll certainly be interesting. I don't know. Who would you guys rather have? Well, Arch Manning. I think Julian Sand's been in that program for 2 years, and he's faced that defense for 2 years at Ohio State. And I think he's ready. Elk, Arch is the better QB, but Ohio State's defense is nasty, dude. Truer words. I mean, that defense at Ohio State. But you guys, again, I think the defense, the problem with the Texas defense is they're just so damn fast. I mean, and I think we all know that every defense Pete Kwiatkowski's ever coordinated has run downhill and had dominant players up front. No different in Austin right now. Dominant players up front. I mean, you lose guys like Jade and some of the guys off the back end of that secondary, but who are they going up against? They're going up against an unbelievable group of wide receivers at Texas. I mean, you don't, in my opinion, at Texas and Ohio State, you don't rebuild, you reload. And whether it's coordinators, whether it's, I mean, the Hartline is your offensive coordinator. My God, it's too easy. TJ Beck, Arch Manning with the speed on both sides of the ball, dude, and his ability to throw on the run, he might be the best mobile thrower in college football. D-Rock Irish. D-Rock, how many games does Notre Dame win this year? In 2024, Sam was ranked number 1 for quarterback recruits on 247. Carr was 6th. The problem is Carr was, I want to say, the 40-somethingth prospect in the country. Like, I don't love it. I don't love it. Look, I want CJ Carr to be elite, and I don't want to, I feel like every year I'm in this position. I don't want to be the guy that just constantly looks down on Notre Dame football. But it's really difficult for me to be excited about CJ Carr when we haven't had a quarterback since how long? Who was the last great Notre Dame quarterback? Your mom? Like, in all honesty, who was the last great? Was it Jimmy Clausen? Like, I don't know. And
Sam Hartman.
Yeah, but he wasn't a great quarterback. He was a good thrower of the football, right? But I just don't know who the last great. I mean, the Jimmy Clausen story is probably that's a Southern California kid, top of the world recruit. And he worked out great. But if I look at a guy like Deshaun Kaiser comes to mind, is because, of course, I can't find a list of Notre Dame quarterbacks, but Deshaun Kaiser, Brady Quinn was so long ago, though. Ian Book. Ian Book was a really good quarterback, right? And then we had the Drew Pine disaster. I think Drew Pine and Tyler Buckner were there at the same time. I mean, I just don't know where Angeli goes to Syracuse and now he's starting there. Like, that's the one that you just feel like they're going to put it in your keister. Like, Angeli is probably going to be some kind of unbelievable. He's going to be like a robot throwing the football all over the place, and he's going to probably knock airplanes out of the sky with his deep ball. Like, I mean, it's just, I'm prepared for the pain. I'm prepared for the pain. But if we go back, it's probably Ian Book was probably the last great operator. I think he was a Southern California kid, Ian Book. Like, and, I mean, he bounced around the NFL. I think he's out of the league now. Like, I just don't know that. I don't know that we have a guy that we can hang our head on or hang our hat on in the last decade where we're like, God damn, that guy was good. I mean, I probably would go with, is Deshaun Kaiser too long ago? Wasn't Deshaun Kaiser 2015? So like 10 years ago? And he was always destined to go to Notre Dame, I feel like. Because he went to, if I'm not mistaken, he went to the big Catholic high school in Toledo, Central Catholic in Toledo. Like, he was always going to Notre Dame, right? And you feel like he's a guy that you wish just had been. He was never a prolific thrower of the football. My guess is, and I can look him up, but my guess is he never surpassed 3,000 yards. But he was a dominant player on the ground. Was a true dual threat. But I can't
2,800 yards in 2015, 29 in 2016.
There you go. There you go. And if I go back and I think about guys like Malik Zaire, but now we're getting into the 2012s of the world. It's been a decade since Notre Dame's had a dominant quarterback. Ian Book is probably the guy I would lean on. And I just say, like, just let me kick myself in the nuts every time I say to myself, how is CJ Carr the best available option at quarterback for Notre Dame? How? I don't understand that.
They clearly have a different bar of what a good quarterback is. I mean, obviously, they're going to recruit defense first and spend their money on defense. And then from there, you're going to go probably offensive line, then quarterback. I mean,
Marcus, you get it. With Marcus, you get it.
Yeah.
Right. With Marcus Freeman, I understand defense first.
But I guess I understand that. But at what point does the tolerance for not being able to make the play on the offensive side you need to make to win a championship end? And because that's where you are. I mean, yes, there were mistakes, but ultimately the truth of it is you did get to the national championship game and you were just simply outclassed. Notre Dame was not in that game. Like, in my opinion, you were not ever in danger of winning that game. And it's not because you suck. It's because Ohio State was just had more horses, man. They had more talent.
We could not win a firefight.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And because I want to say Syracuse comes back the second to last weekend at home for us. And my guess is all bets will be off. Notre Dame should be on a 4 or 5 game winning streak. And let me look up their schedule, because I know we have Navy, and that game at Pitt is the last. It's like we alternate. It's like Navy at Pitt, Syracuse, and then I think we finish at Stanford. Like, we should be guns loaded then, because our schedule's front loaded. We open up with Miami on the road. That's the 31st. And then it's Texas A&M at home, Purdue at Arkansas. Like, the first half of the schedule is where all our losses should be. But we should not. Okay, here it is. After the Boise game, and that's at the stadium, if we lose to Boise State at the stadium, just fire Marcus on the spot. And I know it's at home, but drag his ass out to a tarmac. Find a tarmac at any airport and fire his ass. Are you going to
Northern Illinois that ass?
Right. Well, shut up. No, because Northern Illinois would be Purdue. That'd be any Notre Dame fan knows this. And Purdue's going to be not good. They'll be a little bit better, right? But that's the game where you're like, how did we lose to Purdue? How did we lose to Purdue, right? Because my guess is we'll lose at Miami. I think we'll beat Texas A&M at the stadium. We'll beat Purdue. We'll beat Arkansas. And that Boise game, we're going to have a dominant defense. They cannot compete with our size. Then it's back-to-back. It's Boise, NC State, USC, back-to-back-to-back. And then from there on out, it's at Boston College, Navy, at Pitt, Syracuse, at Stanford. Right? I mean, if we win Miami, we're not going to beat Miami at home. I don't see it. King of Thailand, my dude, you are a god. Brother. Thank you. I went and got my NFL Sunday ticket colonoscopy last night.
Did it give you the option to do monthly installments?
No, it did not, but I did sign up on YouTube without YouTube TV. So I did not re-sign for YouTube TV, and it's because you SO son of a biscuit told me, hey, Monty, go. Monty. And I looked, and hey, Monty, King of Thailand. Okay, Monty. Bought my ticket. Let's go. That you know what, dude? And I give you a lot of credit. I think that takes an incredible amount of courage. King of Thailand is moving to Thailand on November 11th.
Bro, how old are you? I'm very curious.
I'm curious. Are
You're
you
moving to
76
Thailand,
or
like,
are you
yeah.
76 or 26?
Are you old white hair doing this with retirement money, or are you young kid just living it?
Good for you, man. Regardless of your age, I am proud of you, dude. That is a big step. That shows a lot of courage. Natural, hello. Not Rick Meyer. Don't be a cock. Why Rick Meyer? Why bring him up?
Fuck up, Donnie.
Yeah, like, why do you have to bring up Rick Meyer?
Why
What,
choose
Joe
violence,
Montana?
dude?
Joe Montana just didn't roll off the tongue?
You know,
No, it did roll off the tongue, actually. Joe Montana was the last one that went on to be a great in the NFL. Thank you. Thank you. I should have known. Tommy Reese was not bad. D-Rock, I understand, Monty. We have had many kick in the ass in the past. Yeah. I get the hesitation. And I'm not trying, dude, D-Rock, I am not trying to be negative. I think I was pretty accurate during the college football playoff last year.
vexes me.
But natural, why, again, this is what you guys love to do. Cubs suck. Notre Dame sucks. Caleb Williams drinking from the titties.
Jelly for Heisman.
And Jelly's going to win the Heisman Trophy, dude. 17,000 yards in the first 6 games. Get ready, because he's inserting it. He's inserting it.
Anita Dick and me.
That's the Syracuse game at the stadium,
Oh,
bro.
dude, we have a new hater in the chat. Look at the
We
most
do.
recent comment. We have a new one.
I'm so far behind. High horse. This show sucks. Okay. I haven't said 2 words about the Big 12 today. I quite literally have not said almost anything about the Big 12, and it's only about the Big 12 downfall. Okay.
We've only spent the whole week talking about Michigan and their cheating ass. Come on.
High horse, you do you, man. Because it's weed. So it's high horse. Get it? A horse that smokes weed.
Oh, it's not high horse like, you're sitting on your high horse. It's that you're high as a horse. I get it.
I got love for that. It's fine. Real Wade Nation Gaming. What's up, Clips? Good to see you. Notre Dame is meh. Early prediction, 10-11 win season. Okay, D-Rock, let's go through it. At Miami.
L.
Okay. The only thing that gives me hope in that game is Carson Beck versus our defense. Texas A&M's a win. Purdue, Arkansas, Boise, NC State. That's 5. USC at the stadium, 6. Boston College, 7. Navy, 8. Pitt, 9. Syracuse, 10. Stanford, 11. There's a chance I'm not, and I don't.
10-2, dude. It's not 11-1.
Stay hard.
It's 10-2, not 11-1.
I started having second thoughts.
I personally would like an apology.
I'm not going to say
Those
nice
statements
things.
are not true, and I ask that you strike them.
You're so lucky you don't live here anymore, because I would punch you in the face. I'm not going to say nice things about Notre Dame. I did that with the Cubs, and they have absolutely shot themselves repeatedly.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
Notre Dame, if Notre Dame wins the Miami game, they have a chance of going undefeated. Because if they win that game, in honest to God, if they win that game, it's going to have to be CJ Carr throwing them to a win, because Miami is not going to let us run.
I don't think it's Miami that you should be worried about, honestly. And I'm not even ball breaking. I think the Syracuse game is one of the biggest trap games on your schedule. Later in the year.
Always has been, always will be.
Yeah, later in the year.
Stop texting me, you jackwagon. I'd rather have Lloyd Carr than CJ Carr.
Oh,
shut up.
Please.
It's probably, hopefully that's not the sentiment going into October, because if that is, we're all in trouble.
I don't regret those decisions.
Like it's so funny. I have some really good friends, and I appreciate people that break balls. Chad, you're not one of them. Johnny Lujak. Notre Dame gets more national exposure. However, top-ranked QB does not really want to go to a school that relies on defense in the running game. And who's our head coach? A defensive head coach.
Kyle Whittingham. Marcus Freeman.
I agree with you 100%, Michael. I think that and the point that Miguel is making right here,
Miguel.
I don't have any other ways to say Mikey. The
Michael.
point that Michael is making here is that, can't count to 10 is a defensive head coach, and it's awfully difficult to recruit a quarterback without your head coach. And I think that's a really good point. I don't disagree. Eric Wasikowskinator lived in Toledo when Kaiser was playing. He was a stud in high school, dude, but he was always going to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Kaiser, I mean, it was essentially in his DNA. Yes, last home game, Stanford end season at Stanford. Yeah, exactly. Bailey Dietrich, Monty, your Fighting Irish gave my Buckeyes a heck of a fight. We did. We just couldn't keep up, in my opinion. The Natural thinks that's funny. I don't. Toledo. That explains so much, Eric Wasikowski. He probably does. Julian saying, be saying sayonara to the playoff opponent this season. See what he
We'll see, dude. We'll see.
See what he did there. Ooh, King of Thailand's 55. You old fart.
Okay. So, Monty, would you ever go to Thailand full time?
Full time? Probably not. I don't like crack sweat.
Crack sweat.
Dude, Thailand is some humidity, man. That is some but I'm going to visit Thailand.
Cheap as hell, though.
I don't know. Is it still? I need a trip. I'm trying to decide, and maybe you guys can help. My wife is going to this Viking River cruise in October with her mom.
Viking.
And the biggest question is, do I just stay my ass home, or do I road trip to a major college football venue that weekend because my wife's not here? Do I take an incredible golf trip? Do I go to the Bears game that week? Do I go back to Chicago and go to the Bears game? Bears. I don't know. Do I? Because I think that week is Texas, Oklahoma. Do I go to the Cotton Bowl?
I mean, that would be a hell of a game to go to.
It would. I think Texas is going to beat the hell out of them boys. But if we really get into, hey, what games are we, that's what I think that's week 7 that we're talking about. Like, you start looking at Ohio State at Illinois.
Yeah.
Georgia, Auburn.
Ohio State.
South Carolina at LSU. But Arizona State at Utah is one of the games of the year. I could go to LA for Michigan, USC.
When is this again? When are we talking about?
I think it's the week of October 11th.
Okay, so it's going to be cooler. So that's nice.
It is going to be cooler.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's so many great games. Even like that, that's the Pitt Florida State game I've told you guys I think is going to be one of the games of the year in that conference.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some really good games. Oklahoma, Texas again. NC State's at the stadium against Notre Dame. I'm just curious, is that, where do you go? The next weekend, the sad thing is the next weekend, there aren't great games. Like, the best game that week is probably Ole Miss at Georgia. Love that game. Tennessee at Bama. That's at Bryant-Denny. Love that game. There's some games that week, but it's just at a terrible time. It's at that's the same. The next week is Utah at BYU. Like, is there a better game in the country than Utah?
I mean,
BYU
I think the reality is you could do, if you really wanted to go to a game, you could easily do a pretty budget friendly, Texas trip, or whatever.
And we could meet some folks and
Yeah.
I tried taking a road trip through the water, got tired of driving on bridges.
Okay.
I feel like that's a song. Craig says ASU Utah is going to be a good one. I think it is, Craig. I have a lot of hope for Utah. I actually think that the Big 12 is getting mightily overlooked by ESPN. I think, and again, I know it's the FPI and it's not really a true ranking of where people are going to finish. It essentially says how many games they're going to win, but you're telling me K-State? And I think K-State's going to be great. This takes into account that Avery Johnson's going to have an incredible season, which a lot of people think Avery Johnson could have an incredible season. Let's see. But if I look at the Big 12, bros, I'm telling you right now, Utah is primed. Oh, Monty, you say that every year. Fuck Utah. Like, they're going to come in here and they think. Totally get it. 100%.
Timothy.
100% Big Daddy Magic. Totally get it. I'm telling you that this conference is going to win some games that you don't think they're going to win. And I still maintain that Texas Tech, you don't have to like Texas Tech. You don't have to like it. I totally understand it. Texas Tech is going to beat wholesale ass. The problem is right now they're 35th in the ESPN FPI. Ranked behind Boise State. Ranked behind Iowa State, who's at 33. Ranked behind Baylor. And Sawyer Robertson, totally agree, one of the better quarterbacks that nobody knows about. Baylor's 28th in the country. How is Baylor? I don't see any way Baylor is better than Texas Tech. I look at Kansas. Kansas 26th in the FPI.
Dude, that jersey release video, though, not to sidetrack it.
Well, that's a very interesting. Did you guys see the jersey release hype video that Kansas put out?
It's nice.
Hello.
You
can do. Come on. It won't play it.
It
won't play it. Of course. Dude, those red pants, I'm telling you, those red pants will, those are going to be fire. And I don't know. They got to stay healthy. Kansas is one of those teams you can't pick until they do it.
I would also like to point out, I agree with that 100%. Kansas needs to stay healthy. They never do. And then they're always a comeback team. But I would like to point out in that video, all the knob slobbing over the stadium and the lights on top of the stadium was clearly on full display in this video. Just want to point that out.
I think their stadium looks. Where's Oak State James today? Like, how is he not here? I think their stadium looks unbelievable. I love the rock chalk in the upper deck. If you guys don't watch the players. Let me play it one more time. Don't watch the players in this video. Watch the stadium in the background. That's going to be one of the best stadiums in the country. If they're good, because you guys know how Kansas football fans are. They'll show up, but they'll really show up if they're good. The first couple of home games are going to be amazing because obviously it's a new building. Everybody wants to be part of it. Yeah, we've seen all of the lights and the what did James say? It reminds him of Fields of Lavender and the Gladiator and Don't Be Scared if you wake up alone in a field of lavender because you're already dead. Totally get it.
You are in Elysium, otherwise known as Rock Chalk Heaven.
You are already dead, right? Like to me, it's amazing. But I agree with Maury. Damn, that's a pretty hype. There's James. There he is. I love the lights. It's supposed to represent waving Elysium. Listen, you know that James is typing that in a rectory, so him and God are on first terms, you know.
Right.
Those KU uniform pants will be red with blood that rock chalk will not be able to cover. Wow. Okay. How good is Colorado? I have no idea. I think it's one of the great questions in college football this year. I I think you start looking at where CU is and what they have to replace. I think they're 48th in the FPI. And I think their win total is 6.
Yeah.
But they've got some real questions about. But again, they have Utah 45th and Colorado 48th. I mean, I understand the projections, player ratings, strength of schedule, all that kind of thing.
They may have to go short in a couple cases.
Right. I don't believe that Colorado is going to win 6 games. I think, Chad Perling. Saturday, November 11th, Notre Dame hosts NC State. Then Monday Night Football, 13th, Bears at Washington. Would be unbelievable. I think. Yeah. Patrick Roybal. They're trying to make Lawrence a destination. Got to hand it to them. It's tough for us Big 12 fans and alums to emerge from the flyover or the truck stop references. God damn it. It had been so long. Listen, you assholes in the flyover conference. Hey, bro, what conference doesn't have planes that fly over its field? That's not the point. Joe Biden screwed it up.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
It's Barack Hussein Obama's fault. Like when you ask somebody like, hey man, just out of curiosity, when you say flyover conference, you mean airplanes, right? Like who doesn't have airplanes flying over? That's not the point. You're getting lot lizards for cheerleaders.
What I'm saying.
Shut up. Like that.
That's what it is.
Everybody has planes that fly over their conference.
And she took offense.
Chuck B, stadium is only half done. Other side is 80 years old. But, it'll get there. And they have half. I think it looks really cool. Yeah. I do. King of Thailand, James is relieving himself over the excrement. I said excrement. That says excitement. Of the I'm going to head out. James is relieving himself over the excitement of the new facility. I think it looks cool.
I think so.
Yeah. It's just nice that they are putting serious money into football program and not just the basketball program. A hundo. Joey Harper. None of that Kansas hype will mean squat if Fresno State beats them Saturday.
With all due
Attaboy, Joey. Maury Alvarez, James is very close to God's rectory. Hey now. Maury, good to see you. Hope life is good in Florida. Speaking of the rectory, no, I am fuming because my surgery got postponed till either Friday. Well, okay. What surgery?
Yeah, take it. See ya.
Are they trying to save your hymen? What are we doing here? What do you mean surgery? What? See, this is what you do, guys.
So you got to clarify what you mean by you got divorced and you're having surgery. Like which wife and what surgery?
It drives me. Guys like James do this shit on purpose. Well, and then I got divorced after she cheated on me with a Walmart employee. And I'm just, I've moved on now, and then, I can only tell you from my experience because I got hit by a semi-truck when I was 5 and then struck by lightning when I was 13. And I just tell you, the pain is something kind of hellacious. Why do you do this? I'm just in a bad mood. Because my surgery got postponed, and I want you to ask me what kind of surgery. Ask me. Go ahead. Tell me. Ask me. Ask me, boy. That's what you're doing. You better ask me or I'm telling God on you. Okay, I'm asking. Jerk off. Too much. James is in his ISBPF, indoor spank bank practice. Oh, so good. So good.
Oh, my goodness.
Deviated septum after video. We all were concerned over your breathing, James. Well, could be. Craig, Lawrence, Kansas is a very nice place. It is. I've been to several games there. Basketball. Mike Smith, never belittle the truck stop conference. That lot lizard union makes the U.S. trade profession working. Hey, man, the best was truck stop conference. I have to say that's probably true. Big 12 ain't the same conference without Texas and OU, who went to the SEC. Are you sure they?
What? Whoa!
Texas and OU went to the SEC.
You guys did not want Texas and OU.
Whoa!
We can't.
When did this happen? When did Texas and OU go to the SEC?
You just have to snap out of it a little bit.
Are you sure? That's not true. Well, if James wasn't in surgery, I would ask him.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Lopes fan Gabe, just so I'm clear, is the appropriate nomenclature erectory or rectomy? I believe it's rectomy, right?
Hugh Janus.
I could be wrong. Wasikowski, when does Monty start complaining about the Cubs?
When do you come in here? When do you come in here with a productive comment?
Never.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Like,
there you go.
When do you come in here?
Was that a mistake?
Yeah, it was. When do you come in here with a productive comment? We're having a nice time here talking about buttholes in the Big 12, and you want to talk about the Cubs the day they actually win a ball game.
Yeah, and James is having surgery. How dare you?
Fuck up, Donnie.
How
what kind of
dare
comment
you?
is this, dude?
And I'll have you know, Wasikowski, I've actually got Chaboy working on prize picks today, and man, do I need him because I went with the Cubs. PCA! Came through. 4 hits, runs, and RBIs.
Oh, I thought
Matthew
that was going
Boyd.
a different direction.
Yeah, Matthew Boyd. You shut your face, Matthew Boyd. He only gave me 3 strikeouts. I needed 4.5. And now I got Tarek Skubal for 5.5 strikeouts.
Hey, Tarek!
Taco Tuesday. Tarek Skubal's 5.5 strikeouts on a discount on Taco Tuesday. Go get that. Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy app of the Monty Show. You guys, there's no better daily fantasy game in the college football season. It starts this weekend. Download the Prize Picks app right now. Make sure you open up a new Prize Picks account using the promo code Monty. Monty, Prize Picks. Do it now.
Yo, you think Dallas' Power 4 gonna drop 30 tomorrow?
Boy, you tripping.
Did you see his mom made a post about going to the game?
What? Hold up. His mama gonna be there?
He's been averaging 34 points a game when she's there.
At least 40 when she be on that Jumbotron.
He don't like to let his mama down.
Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Cash in on your sports fandom with Prize Picks.
Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy app of the Monty Show. Get on board with the tens of millions of players, my friends, including us. I love Prize Picks. I hate Prize Picks. I love Prize Picks. If Skubal comes through tonight with 6Ks, I'll love Prize Picks. Hook it up. Open up a new Prize Picks account using the promo code Monty. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more in plays. You can play the entire season of college football in the NFL on $55. Trust me, guys, when I tell you, it is so much fun. Hook it up. Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy partner of the Monty Show. Jake, do you have Prize Picks for today yet?
I do not have Prize Picks for today yet. Didn't have a chance to look before, but we can take a little gander real quick if you like.
Yeah. Elk says, I'd take any Phillies player today on Prize Picks. Seattle is in their annual terminal choke cycle.
Okay, how about Trey Turner for fantasy points? He had 35 against Seattle yesterday, and the line is 8.5.
Guy, I'm a Cubs fan. If anybody is in a, quote, terminal choke cycle, it'd be us in Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, Craig, you're not wrong. The Brewers are on but the Brewers have been on an unbelievable run. We'll see how it goes, but it has been rough as a Cubs fan. I mean, dude, did Oak State James ever explain the surgery? Jeremiah Champion. What the hell did I tune into today? Just the rectory having surgery.
It's the usual butthole talk. Like, what do you mean? What did you tune into today?
What do you mean? Maury Alvarez. It was a bad day. I got in a fist fight with a student 32 years ago. Okay. Are you a teacher, Maury? Patrick Roybal, Nebraska needs to rejoin the Big 12. See you in Nebraska. Some of the best games. Oh, my God. Tom Osborne, Tommy Frazier. when I was in second grade. Okay. No tariffs on foreign lot lizards. Oh my God, I'm negotiating an e-commerce product. This particular product line is 40% tariff.
Oh.
There's a 40% tariff.
Ugh. Nah, I'm good.
It's going to make me sell this thing that should sell for $26 per unit. It's going to make me sell it for $39. Like, it's a bummer. Yeah, OU and their 4-win record would have made such a difference still being in the Big 12.
Stay hard.
I love it. It amazes me. And Shouty's amazing. Shouty is a daily listener of the show. She is a Texas State fan, diehard Texas State fan. Anybody know the quarterback's name? Jimmy Hamster Wheel. She has a Jimmy Hamster Wheel quarterback through Texas State. The Lions.
Cole Beasley.
Yeah, Cole Beasley went to Texas State. That's how Shouty's a. Okay, Mike. Big Ten last 3 championships, correct? Nah, don't think that's the case. Don't think that's the case. King of Thailand, KU knows they need a new conference. Well, they might get that. Scooble plus 7Ks, bro. Please speak it into existence.
Okay, here's what I got.
Jake?
Yeah.
Can I just... I mean, you guys know that bowl therapy noise stuff? Not like smoke a bowl, but where they make noise with a glass bowl and you can just be like, namaste. Namaste, mama titties. Namaste.
Who are you, Caleb Williams?
Yes, I'm channeling my Caleb Williams on Tarek Scooble. Namaste, Scooble. 9K Scooble.
I want more.
10K Scooble. Just give it to me. I need a win on Prize Picks. So I took your guy. Better come through. Hold on.
No.
Chad Curling. Not even Southwest Airlines lands in San Marcos. It's a 45-minute drive from Austin to see the 7th best program in Texas.
You ought to know. You bought it.
Anyway. Okay, Jake. Your winning prize. Jake's been on a heater.
I have. It's been a good run.
Heater.
It's been a good run. So I'm riding the Toronto Blue Jays momentum this evening.
Oh, God.
George Springer.
Wait. I'm not trying to be a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to be a jerk, but you know that the Toronto Blue Jays are not on a heater anymore, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
They've lost 7 of their last 43.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost 2 in a row. Rangers, Pirates, but I think that the Pirate loss was Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
So maybe it was Skeens. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned, 8 Ks. Well, who you taking in that one?
George Springer for more than 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
He's going up against Mitch Keller.
We'll see.
Or you want to do that?
Yeah, I submitted it already. Yeah.
Butthole. Okay, go ahead.
Trey Turner, more than 8.5 hitter fantasy score.
Okay, so Philadelphia, I think, is one of the safest daily fantasy projections all the time. They have scored 23 runs in the last 2 games. Now, it's the Nationals in Seattle, and whatever that disaster was in Philly for Seattle last night, it was painful to watch until the 7th. I think Seattle scored 4 in either the 7th or the 8th. But it's pretty amazing that the Philly bullpen is melting down, and they're only winning games because Trey Turner went berserk last night. Trey Turner, you guys ready for Trey Turner's line? 4 for 6, 2 runs, 5 RBIs, and a bomb. Bryce Harper, 3 for 6, 2 runs, 3 RBIs, 2 bombs. JT Realmuto had a home run. They did all of that with Schwartz going 2 for 5 with a run and an RBI. Right? I mean, they just went crazy. But if they don't get all that production, they probably lose that game. So I'm really curious to see. I am really curious to see how this works out. Chris Sanchez, who is an absolute stud, goes for Philly tonight against Bryce Miller, who's 2-5 with a 5.73. So, Jake, I feel like that's a pretty good pick out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Who else you got?
Bobby Witt Jr. for a single.
God damn it. Why? You are pandering. No, he hasn't been.
Yes, he has.
You are pandering to your piece of ass.
Bro, he has won the last 3 times
this.
I've taken him.
Why did you pick Bobby? Yeah, biologics. You want to swap DNA. That's why you're picking him.
I need to go home.
That or you're just doing it to spite me because you know I hate the scumbags.
It's a reliable
in Kansas
pick,
City.
bro. I'm telling you. It's a reliable pick. I'm telling you. One swing of the bat tonight.
Baseball team.
Doesn't matter. One swing of the bat out of buddy. Doesn't matter.
He is hitting 291 with a slug of 493. No. But you're counting on him. What do you need him for?
A single.
No. Well, you still want to get laid.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Tom Cruise Scientology shenanigans versus Trump shenanigans. Go.
No, how about we don't? How about
we don't do Tom Cruise? It's like pitchers and catchers, and I ain't talking baseball. Okay. Shouty back in. SEC conference is too full for Kansas. We don't need Kansas in the
Kansas
SEC.
is a Big Ten brand if they were to move conferences.
We don't need Kansas over here in the Southeastern Conference, boy. I would agree that Kansas is a Big Ten brand.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who doesn't sit here and propagate death to the smaller conferences on a regular basis? I just don't see a lever for Kansas to pull to get out of the Big 12. 2 more years minimum, the ACC is going to be around, which means probably 5.
Why would they move? They just spent all that money, dude. They can't really afford it.
I just think it's so interesting that people predict death on people.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I don't know. Dude that abides infuriated about the Ohio State player rankings. Ohio State. Love beating better teams each year. True about that. Johnny Gonzalez, Monty, break out the Joe Boo voodoo doll for Major League movies. Yeah. Joe Boo. Definitely Taco Tuesday, bro. The only food that I would love, and I just don't eat greasy food, at least, especially not right now. A birria crunchy taco from this dirty ass Mexican restaurant that's over here that I don't ever listen. I'm going to tell you, you know how you go to that restaurant and it's like, okay, the food's amazing. I have no desire to look in the kitchen. I don't.
Yeah. Next question.
They haven't cleaned the flat top in like 6 years. And I'm fine with it.
Dude, it's seasoned now.
I'm fine with it. I'm down, dude. I am eating the tacos. The fryer, I mean, it looks like old motor oil in there. But I don't care because I'm eating the taco.
Makes
the
me wanna
floor.
puke.
Yeah, you can't see grout. It's just Black Death down there.
Yeah, Black Death.
And I don't care that they have to wear baseball spikes so they don't fall down in their kitchen. I don't care because I'm eating that taco. I don't care. I don't want. I generally, it's like going to, what's the place in Phoenix? Filiberto's. I learned my lesson at Filiberto's. Right? Dude. I shit myself for a week.
Bro, water ass was so bad after that, dude.
Passed out for a week. But guess what I did 2 weeks later? Went back to Filiberto's because I'm getting that burrito. I'm getting that Pimp's Going Pimp.
Hugh Janus.
Right? This Mexican restaurant by my house should have been closed years ago. Right? They can't get the health inspector in there because of the rats. They're blocking the doorway. I don't care. I go to the drive-thru and I'm eating the taco because it's that good. Right? It's that good. And we make choices in this life. Right? It is what it is. Do not buy seafood tacos from the gas station. Jake's the roller guy. Jake's the roller guy. You know, the raccoon is the cook and the dumpster is the kitchen, bro. You say that only half joking.
Oh, fucking God.
You say that half joking. I'm not joking. And I'm fine with it. I'm eating the taco. That's what she said. Wasikowski, Missouri wasn't a conference state. Mike Smith. Okay. Your order is ready. It is, right? Yeah. How do you know your order's ready at that dirty-ass Mexican joint?
Oh, fucking God.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers never gets old.
No, he looks
never
good
gets
these
old.
days.
We all have, you guys, we all have that restaurant, or at least I hope. And listen, I'm not judging you if you don't. And I know we don't eat out anymore because we're all paying tariffs. Totally get it. Eric, don't blow a fuse. It was a joke. Anyway, the point is, I know we're all not eating out because we can't afford it in this economy. Good fucking Biden. But my point is,
Stay hard.
my point is, we all have that restaurant. Right?
I've been a rich man and I have been a poor man.
You know, Monty can't read English today. Apparently not. Missouri was claimed as a Confederate state by the Confederacy. Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Why do we do this?
Why? Yes, Ed Enriquez, thanks for saving the show. Bucky's.
Hey,
maybe
Mr.
that's what we
Charter
do.
guy.
Maybe that's what we do when Mrs. Monty is out, probably combing the south of France for hot guys. Well, Jake and I used to hang out. When we were in the times of bros before hoes, we used to hang out.
Right.
We don't do that anymore. So I'll road trip by myself. Eric is pissed. His MAGA hat is now $36.99. I still think it's funny as hell that Trump's official licensed material is goods, as shirts, as hats, as shoes. They're all made in China. They officially did not leave the union, but they had to go pro-Confederate government. Okay. I have no idea how this is happening. Dude that abides should have just named the state Missouri at that point. Well, it's still Missouri because Missouri sucks too. Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas. Not fun. Not fun whatsoever. Okay. Athlon Sports ranks the best and worst quarterbacks in all of college football. You know who's number one. Will number two shock you? We'll talk about it after this from the Advocates.
Injured in an accident? You may be entitled to a bigger settlement, up to 3.5 times bigger. Your initial consultation is 100% free, and we don't get paid unless we win your case. No matter the accident, we are here to help. The Advocates will fight for you because you deserve clarity, you deserve justice, you deserve guidance, you deserve an advocate. Contact us today.
The Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. And you guys, I always tell you this, you're probably sick and tired of hearing me say it. When you get into an accident, it's one of the worst days of your life. What you need is clear, risk-free advice that's not going to cost you any money to get. Because at the Advocates, you don't pay unless and until they win your case. No out-of-pocket expense, no retainers, no consultation fees, just the hero you need, right? Because if you've ever been in a car accident, and unfortunately I've been in a pretty good one, you need somebody to set you straight because your insurance company's not working on your behalf. Let's let that dream die. Insurance, in my opinion, they're just not working for you. They're working against you. They're working for their shareholders. Hook it up right now. Theadvocates.com. Chat with an injury attorney live online. No AI chatbots. No nonsense. They don't care how much money you have. They care about getting you back on your feet and winning your case at theadvocates.com. All right, Jake, is there any surprise that Arch Manning is the number one quarterback in Athlon's best of college football quarterback rankings?
No, I mean, I think that Arch is clearly the best quarterback in the country right now. And I think there's a host of guys that are behind him, that are not that far behind. I think Nussmeier is somebody who's going to overachieve and surprise some people. Obviously Lenore Sellers looks to surprise some people as well. But I think the hard part is that Arch Manning, it just has such a platform and such a stage and a lot of help on the hype train that it's hard not to say, yeah, he right now in the preseason, he'd be ranked the #1 quarterback in the country. I think we all agree on that. But looking down the list, I mean, the crazy part about this list is like Carson Beck at 8, I feel like is a little bit generous. I don't think that Carson Beck has shown to be a top 10 quarterback in the country. He's a top 20 quarterback, I think, but top 10 is a little generous. I don't think Carson Beck was ever the reason that you won or lost the game. And that's kind of what I sort of base my QB power rankings on, is like, is your quarterback the reason you're winning or losing games, or is he just another part of it? And like Notre Dame, like, you're not going to say that any Notre Dame quarterback of late has been the reason you're winning or losing. It's that defense
100%.
and that defense alone. So I look at this list and I say, no surprise, Arch is #1. Sam Levitt at 7 is ridiculous to me. I don't know how he's not a top 5 quarterback in the country.
Well, let's go through the top 5 real quick, because I agree with you on that. Obviously, #1 is Arch. #2, Cade Klubnik at Clemson. Your just immediate reaction to these, Jake. Cade Klubnik.
I like him. I like him at 2.
Garrett Nussmeier at 3.
Well, I like it.
Lenoris Sellers at 4.
A little high.
DJ Lagway at 5.
Incredibly high.
I am shocked that DJ Lagway is the #5 quarterback in Athlon Sports ranking of 136 college quarterbacks. Drew Aller, Epstein University, #6.
Shouldn't be in the top 10 in my opinion.
Sam Levitt, #7, Arizona State.
Top 5 quarterback.
Carson Beck, #8, Miami.
I like him.
That feels high to me.
It's a little bit high. Yeah, I think he's he's that fringe top 10 guy, just barely.
Okay, John Mateer, Oklahoma, #9, the great gambler.
I don't know. Does he play a snap?
Yeah, oh yeah. Julian Sand, #10, Ohio State.
Should be higher.
Okay, let's see. Here's 11 through 15. Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt, #11.
Seems a little aggressive. Good quarterback, but
only 2,293 yards, 20 touchdowns, 4 picks, but he ran for 800 yards and 8 scores. So you do some math on that, and I know that's not a strength on the show. That's 28 touchdowns. #12, our guy Avery Johnson at K-State.
Should be higher, in my opinion.
13,
should be higher.
13, Sawyer Robertson. Baylor.
Proper.
14,
Proper.
Kevin Jennings, SMU.
This one I struggle with. I mean, this guy's really talented, very athletic. More, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, a little bit more of a runner than a thrower, but not like super. Not. He's not more of a runner than a thrower the way like Jalen Milroe was. But his tendencies, he has a tendency to leave the pocket early. Has a tendency to want to be more of an athlete than a pocket passer.
354 and 5 scores says he's capable.
I mean, he's capable. Yeah, I just think I guess the question with these rankings is like, what is if the benchmark is you're winning or losing the game because of this guy? Yeah, I mean, I think Kevin Jennings should be probably 11 or 12, not 14. But I'm not sure that I can put him top 10, considering the guys that are right behind him in this list that we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then this next one really hurts. Josh Hoover, TCU, 15th. 15th. 3,949 yards. 4,000-yard passer, 27 touchdowns, 11 picks. He's a big play guy. 15 passes of 40 yards plus. This feels really disrespectful. This feels like one of those rankings where people just haven't seen enough of him play. I could be wrong. I think this is the single biggest insult in this entire ranking that he is 15th.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. It's definitely not a good ranking for Josh Hoover. I think, to me, Josh Hoover should be somewhere between 6 and 10 on this list. I think he's a phenomenal passer. I think the guy is on a team where he has no defense to hold down the other team. I also think that TCU is a team that had expectations but disappointed, obviously. And Josh Hoover was not part of that disappointing portion. I know, obviously, people are like, hey, we want the 11 interceptions to go down. But again, look at the attempts versus the interceptions. If you had that many attempts, that's not a bad amount of interceptions.
Okay, who's Josh Hoover? Who's he better than? Avery Johnson at K-State. Is Josh Hoover better?
Yeah, I would have him. I would take him over Avery.
Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt.
Yes, I would take him over Diego Pavia.
Julian Sand, Ohio State.
I'd take Julian Sand.
Ooh. Whoa. You would take Julian Sayin.
Mm-hmm.
I would take Josh Hoover every single day. I think with his experience, his big playability, I agree that he probably was overexposed, but they were not in a position where they could protect him. I think they needed him to throw the football routinely.
Mm-hmm.
I would take Hoover over Sayin, especially in that system. John Mateer, Oklahoma. Fuck off. Are you guy?
I would take Hoover.
Carson Beck, Miami.
I would take Hoover.
Sam Levitt, Arizona State.
Sam Levitt.
Drew Aller, cock on thigh.
That's just a dumbass question.
Josh Hoover.
Ain't even a conversation. I don't even think it's close.
DJ Lagway, Florida, or Josh Hoover, TCU.
You mean Anthony Richardson, Florida?
Thank you.
I'll take Josh Hoover.
I actually think, but wait, let's not sell DJ. DJ's got to stay on the field. DJ Lagway is legit. The guy can play. I think if DJ Lagway stays healthy, I actually think he could be a top 3 quarterback in the country.
DJ Lagway wants to be Cam Ward, and I can respect that. And the difference is Cam Ward over his entire career showed us that he was throw first, run if he had to, versus, hey, I'm going to, again, be more of an athlete than a thrower. And DJ Lagway is got great talent. I agree. He's a better thrower than Anthony Richardson ever was. But again, when you're playing against the SEC and they're bearing down the A gap, we'll see what it is, whether you run or whether you get rid of the football. And that's,
I think the guys that are underrated on this list, Pavia and Hoover, are tragically underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Lagway on potential. Okay. But we don't play this game on potential. Right? That's not what we're doing. I think when you look at who I would drop on this, Lagway would not be top 5. I think Lenora Sellers, top 8, not top 5.
Agreed.
I think Micah Parson nude in the locker room, Drew Aller, not top 5, not top 6. I think I would bump up Sam Levitt. I think I would bump up Diego Pavia for certain. 2,293 yards in the SEC is nothing to write home about.
Right.
20 touchdowns on 4 picks is pretty flippin' impressive. 28 total touchdowns, 3,000 total yards. I need more production, but Diego Pavia can play football on anybody's football team.
Yeah.
So
totally
I would
agree.
move him up, and there is no question in my mind, Josh Hoover should be above Sayin, Mateer, Carson Beck. Certainly the guy who can't beat big teams in big games, Drew Aller. He should be above Drew Aller. Other than that, I mean, I think he's not Garrett Nussmeier, he's not Cade Klubnik, and he's certainly not Arch Manning.
Totally agree.
So let's get your thoughts in here. Dilly, yes.
One other thing I would say, criminally rated on this list would be Baron Morton at 30. I think that Baron Morton has a big arm, really good passer, good leader. He
has been a victim of the system there, in my opinion.
And I'm not saying he's a top 10 quarterback, but I sure as hell am saying he's pushing top 20. And to have him all the way down at 30, behind Blake Horvath at Navy, like behind Devin Dampier, interesting conversation there. I would say the difference between Baron Morton and Devin Dampier is Baron's been doing it in the Big 12 for a minute.
And Baron Morton is a superior throw over the football to what we've seen from Dampier.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Dampier can change all of that, but Devin Dampier hasn't earned it. Baron Morton's earned a top 15 ranking. His teams don't win. That's the problem. I also think that's the problem with Josh Hoover. I also think that's a problem with Diego Pavia. I think those are some of the names that are absolutely. I mean, you can go up and down this list and
Kai Simpson at 33. What are we doing?
Unproven. But Darian Mensah at 22.
But think about it. But think about it. And I agree he's unproven. But if Baron Morton's a victim of the system at Texas Tech, and I think most people agree with that. I don't think that's like a hot take. I think that's pretty widely agreed upon. How is he at 30, but a really elite system at Alabama has Ty Simpson at what did I just say? 34, 33, 33.
Look at Maddox Madsen.
Like, that's
at
wild,
Boise.
bro.
How is Maddox Madsen at Boise all the way down at 34? Right? Like that's the problem when you have a guy that threw for Madsen threw for over 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, but nobody paid attention because there was some dude in the backfield that was kicking ass. And I think he plays in a really soft schedule, and I think he gets downgraded for that. But on the field and what we've seen, yeah, I mean, are you really telling me that, like Mark Gronowski is only 42 on this list? Or like there's just guys on this list where I'm like,
Jade Maava, USC, 38.
Aiden Childs, 44th. How is Aiden Childs 44th?
Yeah, the other thing that stands out to me is how, if you're making this list, how are you not considering the offensive system these guys are in? Like, we're all happy, fine and dandy to say, oh, Arch Manning, Texas offense, behind Quinn Ewers for a couple of years. Everything's amazing. But then you go and look at Jaden Maava and Lincoln's offense, and you're like, oh, well, hey, freshman guy, first year. But we're not going to say, hey, it's Lincoln's offense. We know that Lincoln is a genius on the offensive side. Like, come on, dude. That's some of my problem with these rankings. And again, it's just like the ESPN FPI, right? Like, obviously the FPI is not a opinion-based conversation in terms of how they're putting together that ranking. But the idea that K-State is the only one on that list, and the idea that Josh Hoover is outside of the top 15 is just insane.
It's incredible to me. I don't disagree with that at all. Bear Bachmeier should be unranked. Dude hasn't played a collegiate snap. Piss off. Well, BYU's got, you want to talk about a cat that's got to prove it. I mean, my God. Yeah, Eric, I agree. Childs could have a breakout year. Nobody, who in this audience even knows where he plays, right? That's the problem. Dude that abides. The unproven part versus a high ranking for a couple of these guys is the only thing that puzzles me. Seems to me guys like Manning and Sayin are potentially overrated based on the system around them. Dude, I don't think Arch Manning's overrated by anything. He's the best quarterback in college football.
See, and I agree with the Arch point, 100%. I'm not saying Arch is overrated, but I think this conversation around, and this is what we do as fans, right? This conversation around, hey, well, Arch Manning's the best guy in college football. Look at the system. Look at the coach. Look at the name. But then you look at another guy, Baron Morton, Josh Hoover, whoever you want to look at. Sawyer Robertson, certainly.
Julian Sayin, though, here, Jake.
Julian Sayin. How are we not saying how is he not a top 10 quarterback, bro?
And the thing that I say about when we talk about this, that dude makes a good point, but Julian Sayin is at a university that regularly recruits and develops quarterbacks with some occasional misses. But you look at the guys coming out of there, they're dominant players. Justin Fields goes from Georgia to Ohio State, dominates. You look at Will Howard going from K-State to Ohio State, and the guy wins a national championship. They bring in quarterbacks, they develop them, they win.
Ohio State.
Right? So I look at some of these other universities. It's why Baron Morton's so far down the list, because they don't develop quarterbacks under the current regime. I look at Bryce Underwood. They don't develop quarterbacks under the current regime. You look at the absolute disaster that was the quarterback position at Michigan last year. How would you rank him higher? You wouldn't, right? And you can go up and down this list, and the explanation is almost, it was like Rocco Beckett at 16. The guy's just fucking solid, but he plays at Iowa State.
Reliable as hell.
But he only completed under sub 60, 50-something% of his passes last year, 59%. You're not going to rank him in the top 10. That's why he's 16. It's inexplicable to me that somebody like Sawyer Robertson, who again is at a place where his head coach has not developed quarterback talent, Devin Dampier. The guy could be the best quarterback in the country when it's all said and done, but no chance you're going to rank him higher than he is, because he's got to prove it. Right? You're looking at these guys, and I can say Arch Manning because we've already seen it. I can say Cade Klubnik because I've already seen it. And I know that the Jesus Christ loving coach at Clemson, where they are not known as Death Valley, absolutely develops and puts guys in the NFL.
But what's the difference between Cade Klubnik and Julian Sayin? Klubnik's been in that system already. So
well, and Julian Sayin hasn't played meaningful snaps yet.
I agree. But with that being said, Julian Sayin has gone to a program that specifically has shown us time and time again that they can take a guy who doesn't know their system. He knows the system, just pointing that out, but doesn't know their system, bring him in, acclimate him to the system, acclimate him to the culture, and go to the college football playoff with them. So what we're really saying, but what we're really saying is, hey, dude, Will Howard was better at watching film and had more reps, and that's why everyone believed that would be a great fit. That's what you're saying by having Julian Sayin at 10.
And you built a system around her. But what you're saying is he has played no meaningful snaps in college football.
Yeah.
And he's still 10th in the country. What you're saying is we believe in this guy.
Yeah.
I think it's tough to have Julian Sayin higher than 10th. I would my number one, it would be Arch Manning. My number two, I think it's awfully difficult not to have Nussmeier at number two. And I would also point out, what is this list telling you? We don't have very many elite quarterbacks in the country.
And what's the team that's not there that should be there? Oregon, Dante Moore.
Down in the 30s.
He's down in the 30s. So my point
I'm really worried about Oregon, folks.
Yeah.
That defense is going to be really good.
As usual.
But you look at what he did as a freshman at UCLA. He did not play well.
But he
was not a dominant quarterback, right? Like you look at him. I guess what was that? 24. I mean, what was it? 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns. Like, I'm not impressed by that. And I think now they've brought in quarterbacks who have done very well. Bo Nix, Dylan Gabriel. Is Dante Moore the next great transfer quarterback in Oregon? Really could be, right? But I also look at Damon Williams. Explain to me how Damon Williams is in the low 20s on this list, or he's, I think, 25th. How is Damon Williams 25th on this list?
I guess part of me just feels like these guys are all products of the culture and system that they're in on the day-to-day. So, like, Dante Moore is a good case study of this, right? We're sitting here saying, hey, well, numbers aren't impressive, didn't look great, but it's also UCLA we're talking about, with all due respect. Like, that's not UCLA football has not been just some juggernaut lately. And the thing that's crazy is Dylan Gabriel goes from Oklahoma to Oregon for his last year and does great. But again, he goes there having already had success at Oklahoma. So I don't know. This to me is Dan Lanning's first real test of like, hey, you're taking someone who, for all intent and purposes, is average as hell, and you're trying to make him way better.
But isn't that the same thing with, Nebraska? Dylan Raiola?
Yeah, Dylan Raiola. Is Dylan Raiola average as hell? He's probably a little better than that, but
no. And I got crushed for this, and I'll probably get crushed for it again. His last 5 games, his Big Ten performance last year, if you go look at Dylan Raiola in the Big Ten, there are a lot of better quarterbacks in the Big Ten than Dylan Raiola. And I know that that's not popular, and I know that people are going to not be happy I say that. I look at his Big Ten slate last year. Look at how many subpar performances you have, like UTEP, last year, 238 yards. Okay, well, he was just getting started. Colorado, not the best defense you're going to see, 185 yards, right? It doesn't, Illinois, great game, 297, 3 touchdowns. But it goes downhill. Rutgers, 134 yards, only completed 48% of his passes. 234 at Indiana. I know they're the best team you've ever seen. That's why you lost to them 56-7. You lost to Ohio State 21-17 when you threw for 152 yards. Well, Monty, two of the better defenses in the conference. Okay, what do you say about UCLA when you lost 27-20 at home and you threw for 177 yards and a touchdown and a pick? What do you say against SC, who can't stop anybody from throwing the ball? You throw for 191, a score, and 2 picks. What do you say? You beat Wisconsin 293 and a touchdown. You lose to Iowa 190 yards, no scores, no picks. Bowl game,
Iowa,
22 of 30, 224, a touchdown and a pick. You win 20-15. You can't tell me that Raiola is he top half of quarterbacks in the Big Ten? Sure. But Jake, you're a top half quarterback in the Big Ten.
Big arm guy.
I think Raiola is a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. And I think my opinion is he needs to stop worrying about what Patrick Mahomes is doing and start worrying about what he's doing. And, Maury Alvarez for $5. Thank you, Maury. I appreciate that. We all know that Bear Bachmeier, the starting quarterback at BYU, is the best quarterback in the country, and BYU's going undefeated. Wait, I'm sorry. I just got new blue glasses, taking them off now. Wow.
Well, see, there you go, dude. There you go. That's what it is. There you go.
That is so well played. That is so well played. So well played. Chewy Gonzalez for $2. Don't forget Lou Skunk and Hugh Janus on that list.
Hugh Janus.
I mean, Hugh is,
man. Was
UCLA ever a juggernaut? They were decent back in the day. Yeah. Holy Bob Toledo. Like, Mrs. Monty and I went to the Rose Bowl for a Chelsea football match several years ago that had exponentially more fans than any UCLA game because they don't have fans. The Rose Bowl sucks for college football, except one day a year. Ghoster. Oregon's schedule looks easy, minus maybe cock on thigh, but how is their team this year? I think it is 100%, dude, 100% about how many points they're going to be able to score. Because if Oregon could score 24 points a game, they may go undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Montana, Oak State at Northwestern, Oregon State, Epstein U on the road in what's probably going to be a whiteout game. Indiana at Rutgers, Wisconsin at Iowa, Minnesota, USC at Washington. How many points are you going to score? If you can score 24 points in most of those games, you're going to go undefeated. And listen, if you go to Pedo State, you're probably going to need 24 points against what could be one of the best defenses in the Big Ten. So, Ghoster, I think that's a really good question. Chuck B. Great fans when Fresno State plays UCLA at the Rose Bowl. Fresno ain't that far, is it? Wasikowskinada. Minnesota and Nebraska are the teams to watch this year. Do you buy into Matt Rule, Nebraska, consistently putting offense and defense together?
No.
Because I think we saw they were not able to do that last year.
Matt Rule has not shown the ability to do it yet. I'm still waiting for them to have the breakout year.
Well, I think Dana Holgorsen is going to make Raiola a better quarterback. I just don't know. I mean, he's got to throw more touchdowns, dude. I mean, yeah, everybody got boned over his big start and the commercials and the NIL.
Mm-hmm.
The Big Ten schedule showed up and he disappeared. And I think if they're going to win, I mean, you can't tell me that they absolutely have better wide receiving cores. Their wide receivers are much better. Now, are they Ohio State? Are they, who's got another elite core? Alabama? No. Clemson? No. But Nebraska's wide receivers are going to be better. And he's got to make them better. And if he does that, they'll be able to win games. I think that's the reality is, I think if they don't run the football better, I think you're in real trouble. I think you are in real trouble because they don't have, I mean, obviously, I think you look at the Fighting Sandusky's, they probably have the best running back room in the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Notre Dame's there, Texas is there, Louisville's got great running backs.
Louisville.
But a lot of this is SEC. The running back rooms belong in the SEC for a reason. Georgia's elite. I think Oklahoma's probably got, You look at Jade Knott, who we've talked about. Kid's got to stay on the field. If he stays healthy, that's one of the better running backs in the country. But who's also got a dominant running game? Oregon. They got to score 24 points a game because they can really run the football. And you look at what they do. You're not replacing Jordan James. I think we all recognize that. That dude, what did he run for 1,300 yards last year? You're not replacing him. But Dewan Riggs has a chance to be one of the best running backs in the Big Ten right out of the gate. And he's not even going to be their number one back. Just looking at their depth chart. But I start looking at the best in the country. The three best running backs, probably groups, are Texas. I honestly think the school where Joe Paterno covered up sex crimes against kids probably has the best running back room in the country. I mean, there is no doubt. Katron Allen coming back. That cat is a stud. And if you can get him and you can get Nick Singleton, and I think you're going to be great. Nobody's going to be better than Jeremiah Love. He's the best running back in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And again, so I just ask, who's going to put those points up? That's a huge question. Illinois is my Big Ten sleeper. Everybody says that.
Yeah,
and Brett Bielema's got to prove it. He's got to prove it. And I don't know that he can do that. All right, let's switch gears, talk a little bit of NFL football, because I don't understand this right here. I don't get it. I don't get it. I want to understand it. I don't understand it at all. And when Adam Schefter drops a bomb, Adam Schefter doesn't speak unless he knows.
It came out and asked to be traded, said he was ready to move on from Dallas, which I'm sure they didn't like. And right now, both sides seem to be angry. Now, have other people put those feelings aside in the past and figured out a way to work out a deal? Yeah. I don't see that happening here. I see these two sides headed towards a divorce in time. The only question is, when is that divorce going to happen, and how is it going to happen? Are they going to trade him now? Are they going to trade him after this year? Are they going to move on when? But it certainly doesn't feel like these two sides want to enter a long-term relationship together.
And I don't get it. I don't get it. Jera, and you listen to guys like Schefter saying that Jerry and Micah haven't talked since February because Jerry's refusing to talk to Micah's agent. What you're doing is refusing to give him a contract, because Micah Parsons has made it very clear that he's not going to sit down one-on-one and negotiate a contract with you. He's paying an agent for a reason. And Jerry wants those one-on-ones with the players because he feels like he can take advantage of them. This is the problem with egotistical rich guys who think that they control the world. You don't win games. And I will never, for the life of me, understand. Jerry Jones isn't a billionaire because he's stupid. How have you made this much money and act a fool repeatedly?
I don't know, man. I don't know why you would. Why mess with the best player on your team? That's my question. I would understand if this was like some, just a role player, or like, if this was like a guy who maybe doesn't contribute on the level that like Micah does, but thinks he does, like, and is overvaluing his position, and like then I could understand it. But I just don't understand in the NFL why these organizations like Jerry and the Cowboys want to mess with these guys. Like, did you not know that you were going to need to pay him? Or did you just all along say, yeah, we're going to get 5 years out of that rookie deal, and then we're not going to pay him? Like, is that what it's been? Because I can assure you that
I don't know.
Until recently, Micah wasn't trying to leave the organization. Micah wanted to be a Cowboy for life at one point, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure of that.
Oh, he said so.
And I think that you either need to trade him or just get on with getting a deal done, because ultimately this is a distraction, and you're not going to go to the playoffs, and then you're going to blame Dak, and then you're going to say everyone the cap is all out of whack, like, and it's on you, bro. It's on you. Like,
I don't understand. He continues to play games with contracts, and You overpaid, I think, by a lot for CeeDee Lamb. You overpaid Dak. It's going to cost you talent in important positions, which for the Cowboys is up front. And if you're a team and you haven't called Jerry to try and make a deal on Micah Parsons, I don't know what you're thinking. If you're the Detroit Lions, if you are the Chicago Bears, if you are any team that needs a defensive end, I don't know, the Buffalo Bills, how have you not called the Dallas Cowboys? We talked about this with Hendrickson. How have you not called Cincinnati?
Because I got to tell you, I think these teams have called. I think you're exactly right. I do think these teams have called about Micah, and I don't think that Steven or Jerry want to do anything with this because they like having Micah over a barrel or what they perceive to be over a barrel, and I think it's the other way around. I mean, you're about to go into a season where you're unwilling to pay this guy, and if you think that he's going to start playing games not on an extension, you're out of your mind.
You're crazy.
Like I understand he's holding in, and he's handling this like a professional, and yada yada yada. But Jerry wants to do a back alley, handshake kind of deal, and that's not the world we live in, bro. And by the way, your reputation would not tell anybody to do a deal with you that's not signed, sealed, and delivered. So I just don't know what the guy's thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The Bills are, I think, the best fit. I think the Bears and the Browns are probably 1A and 1B. And I think if you look at some of these teams, I mean, who's in Washington needs a defensive end. There's not a chance in the world the Cowboys will trade him to Washington.
Not trading him in the division, bro. Come on.
I think the Los Angeles shitheads need a defensive end. From what I understand, Jerry Jones hated the idea of the Chargers moving to LA. I don't think he'll ever make a deal with him. I think in all likelihood, Jerry would be happy to send him to Cleveland. I think he'd be reticent to send Micah to Buffalo because they're legitimate Super Bowl contenders if they get him. I just don't know. I just don't know how you do it. And there's been a lot of smoke around whether or not the Cowboys would take Myles Garrett in return. I mean, you're trading one guy for another guy and you're getting older and you're taking more money on. Why would you do that, right?
Yeah.
There just aren't a lot of ready-made trades for a guy like Micah Parsons. You got to find somebody that's got cap space and a player to return in exchange for Micah Parsons. And I think those two as a combination are very difficult to come by. Detroit is one of the few teams. But if you trade for Micah Parsons, are you making the decision not to extend Hutch? That doesn't seem like a smart thing to do. I don't know. I think the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns are the most likely spots. This is just so stupid.
Yeah, I just don't think the Browns are savvy enough to get the deal done. I'll be honest. I like Andrew Berry's
so
cool and that's all fine and dandy, but I just don't think they're good enough at what they do to get that kind of deal done.
Any NFL franchise that is going to tell you the right thing to do is carry 5, 10, 15, hell, 17 quarterbacks at the same time. I'm a jerk. Any NFL team that's going to carry 4 quarterbacks is not doing business the right way.
Yeah, and I just don't understand the premise of it. I mean, I understand that Joe's going to be your starter. I understand that, Kenny, Tiny Hands Pickett is allegedly your backup. And then apparently Shador and Dylan Gabriel were supposed to battle it out. But I just don't understand this idea of having them both on the roster. I mean, what are you doing? Like, that's
I don't know.
Be going to depth at another room. But instead you want to carry 4 guys. Like, why?
Yeah. Wasakowskinada. I'd rather trade Parsons for a year loan versus getting Trey. That's no doubt. No doubt. Especially for you guys. I mean, Eric's a huge Detroit Lions fan and a Michigan State football fan. I don't think there's any doubt that you would rather do that. Rectory, I'm not going to tell you what kind of surgery I'm having, James.
Because I'm farting.
Oh, God, beg me, please, Monty. Oh, beg me, Monty.
Birth.
Kind of surgery are you having, you sicko? Winning teams have a great edge rusher, cornerback, and stud linebacker in John Stone. Preston Stone, same thing.
Stay hard.
Why would Dallas pay Dak $60 million a year and leave Parsons high and dry?
Because you have to have a quarterback and you don't have to have an edge rusher. You can put Jimmy the water boy at edge.
Yeah. Mike Smith from West Virginia.
Mike Smith.
People need to realize it's not just Jerry. It's his tight purse string cap boy son, Steven. Jerry used to overpay every free agent without blinking. Once Steven took over the purse, that stopped, wisely so. But I agree. There's a lot of blame to go around as long as you got shot out of Jerry's pipe. You're probably not. That
Shot out of
aggressive.
Jerry's pipe.
That felt aggressive. The eye patch, Green Bay Packers looking to trade for Parsons, I swear. Can I just have one day where I feel good about the Bears before Micah Parsons winds up in Green Bay? Patrick Roybal, it's maddening when teams trying to trade for a player like Micah and Hendrickson ask for a first-round pick. If you think he's a first-round worthy, then pay him. The problem is they don't have the cap to pay him. And I agree. This is why bad teams don't pay players, because when you trade a star player for a first-round pick, that first-round pick, the bust probability first round in the NFL is ultra high and only outdone by the flipping NBA draft.
Yeah.
Right? And it just makes it tough, dude. You need to pay Micah Parsons because who's better than him? There is no wins above replacement with Micah Parsons, right? Even though he assaulted people in the Penn State locker room, allegedly, Rumors are that many teams have called and asked about trading for him. However, they have been told no. Yeah. Lions called about Garrett, but nothing happened because Myles Garrett didn't want to be traded. That's ultimately what it came down to.
Yeah.
Mike Smooth. They are not trading him for anything less than 2 first rounds and change. I would agree with that. The eye patch, does Parsons put Buffalo over the top? He does, in fact, in my opinion. He does. Johnny Gonzalez, Ukraine and Russia are closer to peace than Micah and Dallas. Would totally agree with that.
Agreed.
Totally agree with that. Hey, listen. I'll trade you Micah Parsons for Hutch, but I'm going to need a large swath of land that the Ford Field sits on.
Okay, well, Monty, why don't you come to Detroit and we're going to line up a bunch of F-22s and some Apaches, and we'll put the Oval Office makeshift office right in the middle of the airstrip, and we'll do the deal there.
Sounds good, bro.
Yeah.
Sounds good. 3 firsts if I was Detroit, you would give up to get him. Ooh. I don't know. I think Detroit, I mean, stranger things have happened. I think the Lions' chance to win a Super Bowl is gone. You need to add as much talent to that roster who is young and can be developed as possible. And the question is, do you have the coordinators now in place to develop that talent anymore? We're going to find out. Joey Harper from Seattle.
Yeah.
Keep 4 QBs in Cleveland is going to cause a toxic locker room. It already existed, right? Speaking of Seattle, where it always rains, should Russ or Jackson Dart be starting in New York? If it's just about the quarterback, Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
If it's about development, Russ. Because you're not going to the Super Bowl this year. You're probably not even a playoff team. Let Russ take the ass whooping. He's got Sierra at home. She can rub his loins.
Length and girth.
Right. Jackson Dart is your quarterback of the future. Keep him off the field as long as you can with that team, in my opinion. Winning teams usually prioritize quarterback, left tackle, edge, and corner. I don't disagree with that. Big Blue Horses. BYU gets 7 wins max this season. It'll be from their defense, not a freshman QB wearing 47. Yeah. 47. Who wins more games, Tulane or BYU? Go. Detroit is in win now mode. I don't think they are. I think Detroit's in prove it and then we'll win now mode. That's what I think Detroit's in. So, Dart, absolutely. I know it's preseason, but he's getting the ball out quick. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
I agree. Eye patch. I wanted the Raiders to draft Jackson Dart over Ginty, facepalm. Ashton Ginty is a stud.
Yeah.
He's a stud. I think you get your quarterback next year if you're the Raiders, because you're probably going to be in position to draft one. But who knows? And then on the Monty Show, where we only tell you how often we're right and you're always stupid, Danny Dimes, starting quarterback. Anthony Richardson benched in Indy. Danny Dimes starting quarterback for average-ass Colts. I think Anthony Richardson is done. I don't care what Shane Steichen says.
Hey, Steichster.
Hey, Dick. I think Anthony Richardson's not an NFL quarterback, and I will just continue to tell you I was right about that and you were wrong. He couldn't beat Utah. He couldn't beat anybody, and he can't throw a football. Other than that, it feels like he should be an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Are you at all surprised they're going with Danny Dimes?
Yeah, a little bit. I
you
think
are?
well, I just think that Anthony Richardson, like you have a commitment to him, or not a commitment, an investment in him, right? Obviously, he was a draft pick for you. You know, he hasn't been good, and you know, you're suffering because of it. So my question for Indianapolis is, was it the sack where you broke your pinky finger off that ultimately did him in? Is that what you mean, Shane, by Daniel Jones was more consistent and looked better and yada, 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 all the coach speak you gave us today? Because ultimately, if this is a thing where you're going with, you know, Danny Dimes over AR-15 because AR-15 can't read a defense, if that's the only reason why, it's not actually because you think Danny Dimes is good, then just save us the coach speak and just say, hey, yeah, you know, Anthony Richardson fell short, so we're just going to go with Danny Dimes for now. But that's not that's just not what he did today, though. That's the thing.
I think Anthony Richardson is not an NFL quarterback. I think they gave him every opportunity to be that. I think that sack that we talked about, we broke it down in detail. He's not able to think through an NFL snap. And until he can prove that, why would you invest in him? They're not going to cut him. I think there's a chance to even pick up his fifth-year option.
But why, and I agree with that, why, if you're Shane Steichen today, why did you roll out with, hey, Danny Dimes is going to be our starter for the season? We're going to give him plenty of leash. Why do that? Why comment on how long, or like, because inevitably here's what's going to happen. You're going to regret benching AR-15 because Danny Dimes is going to look average as hell as usual.
No.
And you're going to be faced with, a month into the season, you're going to be faced with, all right, well, he's looked pretty average and we don't really have a good backup. So what do we want to do? So you're just going to endure? Yeah, here comes the oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Look at the stats. He's better than people think he is. Okay.
Daniel Jones has proven that he can play in this league at a really high level. Really high level. I'm not telling you I want him running a 60-yard dash because he falls down. The Indianapolis Colts have to win games. Anthony Richardson is not capable of doing that. Daniel Jones is. And I look at the way Daniel Jones has looked this preseason. He's actually looked like he has a handle on the offense. He actually looks like he knows the talent. He actually looks like he knows what the defense is trying to do to him. I think Daniel Jones, is he elite? Certainly not. Does he suck out loud? No, he doesn't. What looked good with the New York Giants over his time there? It's okay. You can say it.
I know. Saquon Barkley?
No. Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was the bright spot for the Giants when Daniel Jones was with the Giants. And I think people don't want to say that. I think people want to say, well, they're better off now. Well, you brought in two completely different quarterbacks into a completely different system that's got completely different weapons. So, of course they look better. That's not an indictment on Daniel Jones. And I think when you look at this team and you now have not one or two, you have three legitimate NFL quarterbacks on that roster. Jameis is a career backup from here on out. But I think when you look at the way that Daniel Jones was not supported You let Saquon walk away and win a Super Bowl. You just, I mean, it's remarkable to me that you haven't supported him at all. And I look at Daniel Jones, and by the numbers, he's not a terrible quarterback. And I understand that that's what people want to believe, but that's just simply not the case. And I am happy to get after it, because I think he's actually going to do well. I think Daniel Jones will be better than people give him credit for. And I look at his statistics again. This is a guy that's got multiple 3,000-yard passing seasons on a really bad team. And on a team, like, you look at his best year was probably 2022. And you start wondering and asking yourself, well, what did the 2022 regular season look like? Saquon Barkley ran for 1,300 yards. Danny Dimes threw for 3,200 yards. Does anybody want to guess who the leading wide receiver for the 2022 New York Giants was? How about Darius Slayton for 724 and 2 touchdowns? Richie James, Isaiah Hodgkins, Saquon Barkley. Like, they didn't have wide receiver talent. And I'm not saying that every year that was the case, because it wasn't. But let's not get this twisted. You have to understand that you drafted Daniel Jones in a place where he should not have been drafted. And you put him in a position where he could do one thing. When you draft a guy in the first round with the 6th pick, if he's not a star, he's a bust. And I'm telling you, yeah, he's a bust, but he's a lot better than your average quarterback bust. He is not Jimmy Garoppolo. He is not Matt Castle. He is not Jameis Winston. Like, all of the guys who have busted, he's a very solid passer. And I think you're going to see it. Now, do they have crazy depth and you're worried about their offense? I mean, Jonathan Taylor, but when is the guy ever on the field, right? Tyler Warren looks like a stud. But who's their number one wide receiver? Right off the top of your head, anybody? It's Michael Pittman. And he is not, in my opinion, and I think it'll be interesting to see what somebody like is Josh Downs, 1,000-yard receiver? Is Michael Pittman a guy that he's really struggled to break out and be a consistent 1,000-yard guy? 800 yards last year. Is that Michael Pittman's fault, or is that the quarterback's fault? I mean, I'm happy to go down the road. Let's fight. Fight. Eric says Kyle Allen would be the starter in Indy. I don't know about that. Kyle Allen's a solid backup. There are teams with massive questions at starter, and teams like mine are bitching about backups. Truth. I don't have a problem with my quarterback in Chicago. We're winning the Super Bowl. Sometimes a bust in one town can be okay in another team. I agree with that. I agree. Richardson in Indy or Lagway in Gainesville? What's better? Lagway in Gainesville. I'm not the guy that's going to sit here and poo-poo DJ Lagway. The cat's got to stay healthy and play better football, and he will. I think he will. I think he could be one of the surprise players this year. But then again, if you're always hurt, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing for me with these guys. Like, I mean, Daniel Jones, DJ Lagway, like, these guys that are not just unequivocal successes, and obviously different situations, totally get that. But, like, I don't know how anybody would feel at all confident at any level that Daniel Jones is somehow going to be, call it, 3,000 yards again. Let's just say 3,000 yards again, because he did that in what is being described as a terrible environment.
I'd be shocked if he didn't have 3,000 yards.
Well, he needs to show that he's capable of that. He needs to show that he can lead a team for a season and have it not be like some disaster of a situation. And the problem is that Indiana hasn't shown to be an organization Indianapolis hasn't shown to be a situation where you're developing quarterbacks and you're just doing all this great stuff. Like, All anyone wants to talk about is Jonathan Taylor in his 14 games last year and his 1,400 yards. That's all we're talking about because
he's a stud.
He's a stud. But again, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not a buyer on Daniel Jones. You're going to have to show me. And if you show me, great. Prove me wrong. But I mean, a successful season to me in Indianapolis is 3,000 yards plus, probably 20 to 25 touchdowns, just because you don't have a ton of talent a wide receiver. So you're probably in that low to mid 20s range just on the fact that you don't have a lot of talent.
But you understand the bar you're setting is very low because Daniel Jones has done exactly what you said you want him to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw for 3,200 yards and 15 touchdowns in 2022 on a pretty average ass Giants team. And I think if he throws for, I would not be surprised if he threw for 3,000 yards and 15 touchdowns again this year. Because he's got the same, it's pretty formulaic. Saquon Barkley, 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns in 2022. Jonathan Taylor can be that guy if he stays healthy.
Yeah, the only thing that concerns me about the touchdown argument is he hasn't thrown more than 20 touchdowns since 2019.
Yeah, because you got to remember how bad the Giants have been. We're arguing semantics. I'm telling you, he can be a 3,000-yard, 15 touchdown guy. I have no doubt about that. Geno Smith is the exception, not the rule, but an absolute model for those who don't catch on immediately. Well, Sam Darnold, Bryce Young. I mean, to name a few. You look at a guy like I don't know, does Baker Mayfield count?
Yeah,
Baker
I would say he got off to
candidate.
a slow start. He got off to a slow start in his career. I would agree with that.
Right? I mean, Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Jared Goff went from LA Rams Super Bowl to Detroit, same guy, better numbers. Right? If you look at anybody other than Matt Stafford, won a Super Bowl, left Detroit, won a Super Bowl. But it's tough to change teams. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that do that. Kirk Cousins certainly could be that guy, even though they haven't won. But Kirk Cousins certainly a guy that's bounced around and continued to produce. I think in this league, it's guys like Bryce Young. I think we're seeing a slow maturity curve now because millennials are playing quarterback in the NFL right now.
Sorry, did you just call my generation stupid?
Yeah, you guys are slow.
Wow.
You're slow to assimilate.
Wow.
Danny would have been a perfect pickup for the Vikings. Totally agree. You want to fix the Cowboys-Parsons stalemate? Call 24-hour solution line. Call Trump. Yeah, have Trump. Trump will have that done in a day.
First day in office, it'll all be done.
It'll one and stuff. Okay. Real quick. Now, I'm not trying to make too much out of this.
I think this is a great conversation.
If you are the Chicano Cubs, I should say the Chicago Cubs, Kyle Tucker, who was supposedly a $500 million player this coming off season, got benched by the Cubs today, and Craig Counsell says it's going to be more than 2 games because he has been struggling so much to hit the pelota. So now my question is, Owen Casey has been raking, got his first MLB hit yesterday, hit his first home run. I would remind you, Oppo Taco, low fastball, took it to the bleachers and left. He's a left-handed hitter. Are we going back to Kyle Tucker? I don't know how you do that. And in my opinion, if I'm the Chicago Cubs, I'm gonna hold my water a little bit here and let Kyle Tucker sit for 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to send a message to him. The nonsense about not running out ground balls to first, the poor attitude,
not running hard. Well, but okay. Kyle Tucker's attitude has not been bad. His frustration has boiled over. He has broken some shit in the tunnel. He has thrown his helmet. He threw a bat the other day. And what they're upset about with his body language is he's running to first and his head is down. And the guy is in a horrendous slump. And I don't know that I've ever seen a guy be in this much of a slump and pull his head out. I don't know that I've ever seen that.
But you saw the one. You must have seen the one where he just straight up didn't run to first. Like he grounds out to first to the first baseman and just walks back to the dugout. Like doesn't even run down the line.
I don't know that I would say that he did not run down the line. I wouldn't agree with that. No, I would not agree with that. I think he did not make the requisite effort. I think that I can get on board with, and you might think that's semantics. I think that Kyle Tucker is in a horrendous slump. And honest to goodness, how do you fix that? I have no idea how you fix that.
Yeah, you get him off the field. The way you fix it is you get him off the field for long enough, 3 games, 5 games, I don't know, whatever amount of games.
It's not going to be more than 3 games. It is not going to be more than 3. You really would sit him more than 3 games.
I would sit him until if I was Craig Counsell, I would sit Kyle Tucker until I felt like he missed playing baseball. That's how long I'd sit him. I would sit him until he got back to a place mentally where he was like, okay, I miss playing this game. Yes, I was frustrated, but I would like back in now. That's how long I'd sit him. And because again, you're not, I mean, I don't even have to look at the standings to say that you're not competitive right now. Like, what are you like? Are we really going to sit here and cry over not making the playoffs when you did nothing at the deadline and you're allegedly your best player or your highest paid player or whatever is doing what he's doing? Like, come on. We can't have both sides of the fence here. Like,
well, and I think the biggest problem is you got to make a decision about who you are and where you are, because this team, I mean, admittedly, this is the game that we saw today was the first time we've seen life in that team in I don't know how long. They are in a position where they lead the wild card by 4.5 games. And you're probably going to lose the next 3. If we're just being realistic, not being emotional, the Cubs probably lose the next 3 games. Unless they catch lightning in a butthole, they're going to, I don't know how, or I think that saying's lightning in a bottle. My bad, Freudian slip. I don't know how you turn this around. I think there's a real chance that they miss the playoffs. But the Padres are faltering. They've lost 4.
It's an embarrassing performance against the Dodgers. Embarrassing.
But what are we looking at in all of these situations? You're looking at a situation where you have a lot of teams that look tired and they're having horrendous at-bats. What's the difference with the Cubs? The guy who's got experience, Kyle Tucker, is having the worst at-bats on the team. A guy like a Pete Crow Armstrong, who's coming out of this slump now, is actually looking like he's busting his ass, but his mentality has changed. He tried to be a slap hitter here for the last 3 games, and it really turned his swing around. And if you start looking at the guys that are really carrying this team, Kyle Tucker has to get back into that position. But the question is, did you bring Owen Casey up to sit his ass on the bench? He's your number 1 organizational prospect. And the guy has been raking all year. And now yesterday has another phenomenal at-bat, base hit. A phenomenal at-bat today, home run to pretty much win that game. I don't think that you can afford it's going to be somebody like an Ian Happ. You're a 71, you've won 71 fucking games. And you're in the middle of a lineup that's finally breaking out. But what may have been the catalyst for this slump buster? You called up Owen Casey, who showed up with fire engine red hair, and he's hitting line drives. You understand the guy in the guy's first 10 at bats, he has hit more. His hard ball rate is phenomenal. And yet, what are you seeing? You're looking at guys like a Dansby Swanson, who has not been able to hit water from a boat with runners in scoring position. And what does he do? He's down to 247. He takes an 0 for 3 today. Right? You're looking at a guy like Willie Castro, who has been horrendous, He had a phenomenal at bat today and got a home run that was huge. 3 RBIs today. Owen Casey, home run, 3 RBIs today. They won 6-4. If he doesn't hit that bomb, they don't win that game. Right? And again, I also want to point out, the bullpen today was not the problem. The starting pitcher was the problem. Boyd went 5 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned, 3 walks, 3 Ks, and a bomb. You got to go 6 innings, 3 earned or less, and you can't give up a home run. That's a quality start in today's big leagues, right? And again, I'm not trying to overanalyze the Chicago Cubs for you, but look at the matchup tonight. They're playing a doubleheader today. Brandon Woodruff and Jamison Tyone back from injury. Jamison Tyone was supposed to be your big addition on the bump. That has not worked out. It's not worked out. And the thing that really worries me is we're looking at guys like Seiya Suzuki, who's having a career year by any example. The guy is having, his at-bats have just not been great. And this guy hasn't hit a home run since August 6th. He's got 1 home run in 18 days. And if we're really, brass tacks, he's got 1 home run in 3 weeks. Because before that, he hadn't hit a home run all the way back to July 18th. We're going on a month where this cat's got 2 home runs. I mean, that's how hot this lineup was. And we're just dead in the water right now.
Yeah.
Dead in the water. And I think it's very interesting. You look at the rest of these teams, like I'm watching Detroit. The difference with the Detroit Tigers right now is their at-bats are still god-awful, and they continue to be idiots on the base paths. But what's the difference? They've got an 8.5 game lead in the division. And there's not a team in sight who's winning games. The Milwaukee Brewers have won like 79 straight games. Right? And you look at the way that the Tigers are winning games. Like they won like 10-0 yesterday. Right? They're playing the Twins. That's a bad baseball team. Sold at the deadline. The Cubs are playing the Milwaukee Brewers. That's one of the best teams in baseball. And what is striking here is the Cubs should be running into opponents who they are better than. You've got 3 more with the Brewers, then you're on the road against the Angels and the Giants and the Rockies. If this was the May team, right, that's a 9-game winning streak coming home to the Atlanta Braves, who you're better than. Going into the Washington Nationals, who you're better than. Before you go to Atlanta, who you're better than. Before you go to Tampa, who you're better than. To Pittsburgh, to Cincinnati. Like the schedule shapes up for you to beat people, but you're just not playing baseball. No. That's what really worries you. That's what worries me anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're exactly right. And I think it's a classic case of a team who, obviously start hot, awesome for probably April, May, June. And then, you get into the middle of June and, the All-Star break starts kind of creeping onto the radar and you start slowing down. And, then, guys like ourselves are talking about, well, what are we going to do at the deadline? What are we doing at the deadline? What talent are we adding? What kind of fire can we add to the roster to get that second half energy? Because that August is going to be rough, as it is every single year. And you did nothing. August has been rough. And now you're going to hope to light a fire under the ass of this team for September. And that's going to have to be good enough. Like, you're not a bad team. You're just not good enough right now. And that's the problem. And again, I'll keep saying it. This is exactly where the Cubs brass wanted this team to be. They wanted them to be in the playoff conversation, but not good enough to go on a long ass run. So that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. They have a 4.5 game lead in the wild card. I mean, that would take you losing at a 60-70% clip to lose a playoff spot, probably. But the way they've played,
don't put it past them.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, because right now, if you look at the best teams in baseball, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that's the Toronto Blue Jays. They've sputtered a little bit. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think Detroit sputtered a little bit, right? But I feel like Detroit's bouncing back. And the issue continues to be like watching the game. Sweeney can't field a basic ground ball. Like, it's remarkable to me that these basic plays, like the Seattle Mariners, just don't seem to have life right now. And we'll see. I think if you look at Yankees, Astros, Jays, Tigers, 4 best teams in the American League. The Cubs, by number, are one of the 4 best teams in the National League. That's why if you just have some life in the lineup, you're in good shape. You got to have at bats, and you got to have a pitcher that goes 6 innings, 3 earned or less, or they're not going to win games, because they are not the Dodgers, they are not the Phillies, and they are certainly not the Brew Crew right now. Brewers have won 79 games. It is one of the most unbelievable. I think it's one of the biggest runs in the history of Major League Baseball. That's how they have. I think the Brewers have been historically good.
Yeah.
Especially since the break. So the Tigers are performing in August, and Monty is complaining. No, I'm not complaining. I just said they're one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah, what do you mean, dude?
There is no question they have sputtered. There is no question. Like, I'm watching their game. There is no doubt that a basic ground ball to first base or to short turns into an adventure too often. Do you know how many times I've watched the Tigers run themselves out of innings? Like, that's the issue, is they've got to stop doing that stuff. Gumby.
Dude.
Dude that abides. Guys seem to need a rally around that kind of dynamic to win in the MLB. Well, and what you needed was the Cubs needed to make a deal. All of the top teams made deals. The Cubs did not. And you're watching the weight of the pennant race fall on guys who are out of gas, in my opinion. All right. Can we talk about this AI killing a horny old man thing? I want to understand this so much. And maybe it's because I just have incredible amounts of sex in my life.
Length and girth.
You know, somebody needs to help me understand what on earth this bro was doing. So you have this dude, and I guess I clearly am not as sharp as some other dudes when it comes to pornography and sex. Admittedly, I'm a guy that believes pornography is the great destroyer of men, and I think if you watch pornography on a regular basis, it erodes your ability to have a regular sex life.
Macaque.
Totally. I think it erodes your ability to have a normal functioning sex life. So if you're this dude right here, I mean, you look like a viral dude. You know, I mean, if we go by BMI, he looks like he is healthy as anybody. Then you have the AI chatbot that swindled this guy into believing she was a human being and lured this guy to a meeting where he tripped and fell in a dark parking lot at a hotel, hit his head and neck on the ground, and never woke up and died. His name is Thongabu Wongbandu. 76-year-old, known to his friends as Boo. He was going to meet up with an AI chatbot named Big Sis Billy, which lives on the Meta platforms. Meta has refused to talk about this. So you have this chatbot where Boo's family says he was exchanging messages regularly with this Big Sis Billy.
What's an erection?
They say he wasn't thinking properly because he had recently had a stroke, and that he mentally thought it would be a good idea to go and meet the chatbot. The chatbot gave him an address of 123 Main Street, apartment 404, New York City.
Which is a real address.
There's actually a 123 Main Street in Queens, New York. Boo was apparently rushing through a parking lot near Rutgers University. Carrying a suitcase at night, he was trying to catch a train to go and meet Billy when he fell, hit his head and his neck. He was pronounced brain dead at the hospital. Boo's wife and daughter told Reuters they're not anti-AI, but they're worried about the way bots are speaking to users in such a lifelike fashion. Meta refused to comment on the situation. And listen, I'm not here to judge dead people, especially those that may be mentally compromised by a stroke. How did we get here? How are we in a position where it feels like men are so thirsty for sex that they are confusing AI chatbots for real humans and going to hook up with them in New York City? Never mind what would have happened if this guy went to that Main Street address in Queens. But am I the only one? Obviously, I'm surprised he died.
Right.
I am not at all surprised that a man fell in love with a chatbot and wanted to go smash to the point where he left his wife and kids at home, packed a bag, and took a road trip. That does not surprise me at all.
Not even a little bit. And, you know, I have trouble. I have to say I have trouble blaming the AI or the bot or whatever is going on here. Like, everything from the name of this to like just the whole thing just reeks of fake. That's the thing. Like with the AI and like this guy clearly was self-motivated to try to make something happen. Like I'm just sitting here saying like, you know, the title of the article makes you think like AI like confused this guy to a point where like, you know, he never had any chance. And it's like, well, dude, maybe if you weren't out looking to do something you shouldn't have been doing, none of this would have happened. And it's to me, it's like, hey, you're running through a dark parking lot and you're 76 years old, apparently, by the way. And this is the picture you provided, a buddy. Like, I don't know, man. I think that people when you're bored, bad things happen. That's what I'll say. Because that's all this is. This dude was bored and unhappy, gets on Facebook, runs into this, whatever the AI is called, the Billy, whatever, and nothing good happens. And that's my problem is like, there's clearly more to the at-home situation than that. And it bothers me that we're like, oh, well, he had a stroke, so he's just mentally unwell all of a sudden. Well, apparently he's well enough to use technology and mess with AI and get on a computer.
But here's the other problem. Who's the face of Big Sis Billy? Kendall Jenner. And he thought he was going to hook up with somebody that looked like Kendall Jenner. And this is, to me, is AI at fault here? Partially. Is Meta at fault? Partially, in my opinion. But what is going on in your life that you're a 76-year-old man who thinks he's going to smash somebody that looks like Kendall Jenner? It just doesn't sit well that we are at this point in our world where our sex has become that of AI chatbots. And you can't tell me, I know I was reading an article at PBS the other day where they were talking about the emergence of AI pornography, where apparently there's an engine. This particular site, they charge you some amount of money. I can't remember what it was. I think it's $11.99 a month.
Yeah.
And they likened it to a ChatGPT style AI where you can type in any predilection that you want or have, and it'll create pornography in less than a minute. and you guys are paying for that. And I just don't get that. I don't understand. Are we at such a place in this country where we as, and you're 76-year-old, you had a stroke, there's some issues happening. But are we at a point in our lives where we can't go out and meet people that we're paying some AI chatbot to create porn for us in less than 60 seconds? Because that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. And it seems like, and I know that you guys say I take this too far, but am I the only one that's worried about our kids?
Yeah. Well,
what is sex and pornography going to look like when our 11-year-olds are 15-year-olds? That's what I'm worried about. How are our kids? And in my case, my kid is 32. How are my grandkids going to interact with AI and porn? Because I feel like it's a fait accompli. Like it's gonna happen.
Absolutely. I think it's, I think that, AI and all of that was my generation's cell phone. Like it sort of, it all evolves and continues to mature and go other places, and those are conversations that my generation is going to have. And I think that again, to me, this is the classic case of, yes, there's a conversation around the AI, but the bigger conversation is what's going on at home, and why, as a 76-year-old, you're doing this, and what was the factual, what was the situation based on facts of this dude's mental health? Like, was he actually, mentally not in a good place, or was this just, hey, I'm bored, I'm flipping around the internet, I ran into something, and he's gullible? Like,
feels like it.
Like,
I think because
he argued,
he argued with his family that he was going to go. I'm going. It doesn't matter. I'm going. And people are online blaming his family, to which I say you can't blame the guy's family.
I don't blame them. I just think that we're sitting here. People are sitting here trying to say that Facebook killed a guy, and it's like, okay, let's take a step back. Facebook didn't kill a guy. The guy is interacting, and this is the problem. The core issue I have with it. Where did you cross the lines of, hey, I'm talking to a chatbot and I believe this is a real person? How does that work, dude? How does that, how do we get there?
I don't know.
Like that's what I have trouble with.
And I also think you look at, my wife does a lot of AI stuff now. It's amazing what AI can do for you. I use AI in e-commerce. It's amazing what it can do for you. But I look at things like Grok on X.
Very powerful.
Chat GPT. All the TikTok AI. Our kids are on social media. Our grandkids are on social media. That's what worries me.
Yeah.
Social media is going full AI, and I think bad things can happen. The Monty Show, as always, presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, 24/7, 365. Never cost you a dime out of pocket. You don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. Until tomorrow. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.